Hey everybody, welcome to Impossible Coin. This week, Champagne Fresca is sitting out. We wish Champagne Fresca the best.
No, we don't.
What Champagne Fresca is apparently doing this week is running a marathon in Oregon.
Oh my god, no, she fucking is not.
For dildo research. I have no idea what that means, but I hope it goes well. Rocky.
Yes.
You're in West Texas, and your last name is Hardy. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Coming up smooth.
Fantastic. Are you wishing Champagne Fresca the best this weekend?
I'm still trying to figure out if he's a femme or not.
It's up to Champagne Fresca.
It is up to Champagne Fresca. It's true.
What are their preferred pronouns, Brian?
He, him.
Okay.
Yeah. The main thing I talk about with Champagne Fresca is this whole, juice machine business. Because I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that.
I mean, it's weird that they're so opaque about it. They could just say what they're doing, and they're not.
I tell you what, though, even Tegan is more accepting of Champagne Fresca than Festival Hardbody. Festival Hardbody just, fucking cannot stand Champagne
Festival
Fresca.
Hardbody and I are on the same team for this, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate a lot of things right now in this conversation.
Festival Hardbody just, thinks that Champagne Fresca is, creepy and weird.
Yeah.
And that,
right.
pretty much every conversation with Champagne Fresca is overstepping. So.
Also not wrong.
Yeah. Tegan Somerset.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like being on the same page as Festival Hardbody?
God, it makes me question a lot about my current levels of sanity. However, we are now in Sagittarius season, and so I will overcome.
All right.
When is Festival's birthday?
I don't know. Y'all seen that Cybertruck?
Dude, fuck that fucking Cybertruck. Are you kidding me? God damn it. This fucking goon, dude. I swear. He made it bigger than F-150. It's 3 electric engines. They say it's bulletproof, but he throws a steel ball at it and it just shatters. What the fuck?
Oh my god. Here's what I'm envisioning and hoping for. And knowing isn't real, but wish it was. Picture a world where both Elon Musk and Randy Pitchford are sitting there in their respective fucking tree houses. And they're like, man, I've got to make a last minute push for shithead of the year for Impossible Coin.
It's not like it's a wide... Well, I mean, it's kind of a wide field. But, I do believe he is presenting that category this year.
Yeah.
It's not like it's that wide a field, my dude. Yeah, Elon Musk presents dumb as shit. So, his name's already in the category. He doesn't have to try that hard.
But he does. He did that for us, Tegan.
I argue that he does have to try hard because pussy squirting is magic. And that set a pretty high bar in January.
I mean, Pitchford's been on it. He's been gunning for this category. He really wants it for some dumbass reason.
Yeah. I can't even with this Cybertruck. I mean, the Cybertruck might be okay if for nothing but the memes.
Memes.
The first picture I saw of the fucking Cybertruck, which had a crudely photoshopped Star Fox from Star Fox 64 standing in front of it.
Sure.
I was like, yep, there we go. Did not take long to see video of the Cybertruck where a head pops up in the corner of the screen instructing somebody to do a barrel roll. Or the, I can't wait to see how many polygons the Cybertruck has on the PS2.
That was a good one. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Why the fuck does it look like that?
man's hubris, Tegan. This is some real shit. Here's my very real question. You guys ever hear of the DeLorean? As a design by John DeLorean?
Right.
John DeLorean had a storied history in automobile design. He designed several years of the Chevy Camaro, the Chevy Nova, the Chevy Vega, and before that, he was a Pontiac. He was well known for doing good car design. And then at some point, John DeLorean ate all of the cocaine. And then the fucking DeLorean happened.
Delicious.
I'm looking at the Cybertruck, and I'm like, there is a fucking historical precedent here.
Someone ate a bunch of cocaine.
Someone ate all the cocaine again, and here we are. Like, why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to dig into Elon Musk's like psyche is its own cosmic horror. Like,
it really fucking is, Rocky. It really is. It's there's like a character in Do the Right Thing who like huffs paint.
Sure.
And like, I'm just picturing fucking Elon Musk sitting around huffing paint and being like, you know what'd be great? Breathes into the bag. What if we just made a fucking pickup truck that looked like a car from Blade Runner?
Yeah. Like, he did. He has enough money to just fucking do that now.
Just imagine being that fucking rich. Like, you have an idea that stupid. And, like, normally when people think of shit that dumb, the world just stops them. They're like, nope. Like, you don't have the budget for that dumb. You can't just do that. But, like, Elon Musk has so much money that the world can't just stop him.
Yeah, I can't wait for, like, the anti-rich patch notes, the fucking nurse. Like, please.
Oh, my fucking God. Like, the thing is, like, on one hand, the Cybertruck is, like, a totem of man's hubris and is the worst fucking thing. And you just look at it and, like, the image of, like, first him hurling the steel ball at the car, which shatters the window. And then, like, the designer guy throws another steel ball. My favorite thing from that presentation on stage, did you guys watch the presentation?
I caught the highlights. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay. Did you get fucking Elon Musk literally saying, we'll fix it in post?
Yes, I did hear him say that.
Oh my
They just didn't.
God.
Oh, man.
But
that's really good.
Here's the good thing about the Cybertruck.
Here's a good thing about the Cybertruck.
There is, Tegan, but it's a dark truth. There is going to be a percentage of people in the United States who are the worst possible assholes.
They're going to buy the Cybertruck.
They're going to buy the Cybertruck, and you are now going to have one of the quickest possible ways to identify terrible shitheads that possibly exist. Very rarely do retail purchases come around which are this definitive. If you're somewhere and you see somebody fucking pull up in the Cybertruck, you know who's that guy.
Yeah, there's definitely like the Crocs of cars.
Mm-hmm. I've got that fucking dude's number.
I thought we already knew how to do that with the MAGA bumper stickers. Is that not enough of a tell?
Oh, I mean, Tegan, a MAGA bumper sticker identifies like a broad swath of dickheads. It's not specific. Like, it gives you general characteristics. You know? It's like, it's the difference between being able to say, like, you have a virus versus being able to name the virus. Like, the Cybertruck is being able to name the virus. You know, like, you're gonna see someone pull up in the Cybertruck and know exactly what kind of asshole they are.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Jesus. What do you think? Like, how many of these people are there? Like, my guess is across America, spread across all 50 states of the fruited plain, it's going to be about somewhere between 30,000 and 40,000 shitheads. They saw that thing and they're like, there it is. That's my future. I'm buying that.
Oh my God.
I want to know none of those people. God. Fucking Cybertruck.
It is bad.
Like, first you name it the Cybertruck. Then you make it look like that? Like, there's nothing that really, like, adequately visually communicates that it is even a fucking pickup truck.
No. None of it does. Holy shit.
Yeah, and just, like, some of the claims that got made on stage are, like, absolutely preposterous. The round-trip charging on it is so much better than, like, the current, like, Tesla Model 3s, when he's like, this gets 500 miles per charge. If you're getting 500 miles per charge on this fucking thing, then why not just stick this new battery tech into your existing vehicles?
Oh, wait, hold on. But, like, they're saying 500 miles if you have 3 engines. Like, one engine, something like 200 miles, I think.
What the fuck?
And it'll be less with, like, when you're actually towing something, like, obviously. But it's like 3 engines, no tow. They say 500 miles, which is still ridiculous because 3 fucking engines.
Why do you need 3 engines?
Because it's a truck, you got to pull things. Electric motors aren't that strong, I guess. I don't know. Fuck.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking
god. Elon Musk is a goon. You got another goon for us, Brian?
Sure do. Some of y'all might be familiar with noted magic and camp girl enthusiast Randy Pitchford.
I think I've heard about him, yeah.
Yeah. He tried to be clever. It did not go well because he's a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tweet from PC Gamer, and PC Gamer asked, what minor issue otherwise ruined a great game for you? Okay? And this was on the same day that Valve did the Half-Life Alyx reveal.
Yeah. This shit looks good.
Randy fucking Pitchford chose to respond to PC Gamer with this, in quotes, only on Valve Index VR. I have 2 layers of problem with this Randy Pitchford pithy statement.
Mm-hmm.
Pithy layer 1. Half-Life Alyx is not exclusive to Valve Index VR. It will run on just about any fucking VR headset. In fact, they were very clear about this in the reveal. They're like, yep, this will run on just about any fucking VR headset. Half-Life away. Thing 2. This is Randy Pitchford bitching about platform exclusivity. Borderlands 3 is Epic Game Store exclusive. So Randy Pitchford, CEO of a company which took money to make a product exclusive, is bitching about product exclusivity. And the product he's bitching about isn't even exclusive. Man, what a...
I think the word you're looking for, Brian, is head ass. What a head ass.
That's the one. Yeah, that is exactly the fucking word.
Oh, man. Speaking of Half-Life, like...
You mean the Half-Life 1.5?
Yeah, Half-Life 1.5. It's possible that, like, Valve may actually follow through and put out Half-Life 3. But I maintain that Valve is cursed, and they are unable to make trilogies. I don't know why. Maybe they met a Romany woman a decade and a half ago. Maybe they have some weird, like, artifact that is, like, weighing on them. But as far as I'm concerned, they are allowed to be a multi-billion-dollar company because they don't make trilogies. Like, that's some weird condition that they have to fulfill, and then they're fine.
Well, but they could have then made Half-Life 2.5. And it's not a trilogy, because it's a 2.5.
I guess it...
As long as we never approach 3, we'll be fine. As long as no title has a 3 in it, it should be fine.
I don't know. I feel like having 3 games gives you a trilogy. And maybe they're getting close to breaking that. It's just like 1.5. But they did episodes of Half-Life 2, I guess. I don't know.
How about Half-Life 3?
What if they did Half-Life 33?
I think it's... I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it can. I might be wrong, and I've been wrong before.
What if instead they did a Half-Life 1 plus Half-Life 2 bundle?
This just sounds like Kingdom Hearts again.
How about Half-Life $2.99?
Oh my god.
What if they did Half-Life hashtag It doesn't have a 3 technically, but it's a 3.
Okay, the shift 3. Oh, man. I don't know. Maybe they'll get them through the curse, but it also may bankrupt them. I have no idea. Like,
how about Half-Life takes Manhattan?
Half-Life does Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. What if instead they call it Half-Death?
That's not real.
But neither is Half-Life, you fuck!
No, Half-Life is like an actual term.
No, we're using it literally. You have half a life left, now you have half a death left. Get your shit together. You play as a head crab this time.
Oh my god. That sounds like a side game. It would be funny if you start out as a head crab and then later on you're just a person, I guess.
Alright, so I'm confused. The Debbie Does Dallas series.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie Does Dallas is the first film in the series.
Right.
The titles in the series are as follows. Debbie Does Dallas, Debbie Does Dallas 2, Debbie Does Dallas 3, the final chapter, Debbie Does Dallas 4, Debbie Does Dallas 5, Debbie Does Dallas Again, Debbie Does Dallas The Next Generation, Debbie Does Dallas 99, Debbie Does Dallas The Revenge, Debbie Does Dallas East versus West, Debbie Does Dallas ... Again, Debbie Does Dishes, Debbie Does Them All, Debbie Does Wall Street, and Debbie Loves Dallas.
Is Debbie actually Barbie?
It's close enough, to be honest.
Alright.
Where's your confusion, Brian?
I'm just saying that it feels like if we were going to call Half-Life 3 Half-Life Does Dallas, it doesn't necessarily communicate the sequelness enough.
We don't really want to convey that it's a sequel, because once again, trilogies and
Okay.
a billion-dollar company.
How about Debbie Stranding? I don't know. Like,
I fucked with it. Honestly, that's the real end game.
how about the Great Half-Life Caper?
Okay, I think... What's the next thing? I think we milked this one.
Are we sure? Are we sure?
Yeah, I think we have.
You got one more good one in you, Brian?
Half-Life Dream Drop Distance.
That one's actually pretty good. Fuck.
It's the one where you wake up and you find out it was all a coma and you're just in the Portal game. It's actually a non-sequel to Portal 2. It's the bridge that connects the two games.
For the Valve video game universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
I'm just waiting for a HL3PT. You're Mr. Half-Life or whatever. And you just keep on going through the same fucking L-shaped hallway over and over again. It's not technically the sequel, because it's just only a teaser for Half-Life 3.
Oh, my God. People end up taking it apart for a decade.
Yeah, that's the one. People obsess over that shit.
And then the game's canceled.
Yeah.
And then the game gets canceled. Fuck.
So, guys, I got some Stadia on my hands. Had to, wash afterwards. Because people were like, ew, you smell like Stadia now.
That sounds about right.
A coworker of mine brought their fucking Stadia controller to work because they know I do a podcast and they've listened to a few times and knew that I have been recently spending a lot of time dunking on Stadia.
Were they, very excited about Stadia and were like, no, look, here, it's good?
They were not. They were like, in fact, this is a fucking bad thing. It does the absolute bare minimum of what was advertised and fucks up everything else. So, the first observations I would want to share are, stuff that couldn't really be clearly communicated just by, reading articles about it. The Stadia controller is bad. It is bad, y'all. Which is interesting because just to, look at, renders of it and photos of it.
Yeah, it looks like a regular controller.
Yeah. They're so focused on making, the curve of the face of the controller perfect and, fitting with the curve of the arms of the controller around the piece. They're curving the faceplate underneath where the face buttons are, which means that the buttons, the A, B, X, Y buttons, are progressively 3 different heights because of the curve of the controller.
Oh, Jesus.
The B button is taller than the other 3 buttons.
Okay.
And then A and Y, those two, because they're the ones above and below each other directly, are the next height. And then, like, A is unacceptably shallow and is, like, hard to get any kind of, like, feedback on X being pressed. Like, there's that much of a height difference between X and B. Like, there's hardly any kind of feedback on clicking in the sticks when you press the L3 and R3 buttons. Like pressing in the sticks, you're like, did it click or not? I can't feel if, like, the clicking into the stick registered at all. The bumpers above the triggers are incredibly shallow. There's not really any height difference at all between where the trigger stops and the bumper starts. So it's, like, very, very easy to, like, while you're pulling the trigger, accidentally hit the L1 or R1 buttons, the bumpers. The triggers have, like, really, really, like, soft, gummy pull. So, like, when you're pulling the triggers, it doesn't really ever feel like it should stop unless you're just, like, slamming the triggers in. The buttons, which would be ostensibly known as, like, start and select, are very, very shallow on the face of the controller, so that you don't really feel like you're pressing them, have kind of a gummy feel to them. Now, funny enough, like, the sticks themselves, like, if you're not trying to click the sticks in, the sticks are fine. So just for, like, say, like, locomotion and, like, a shooter, the sticks would be okay. The Stadia button, because, of course, there's a Stadia button, is also just fine. But the absolute worst thing on the controller is the D-pad. That D-pad is a nightmare. It is easily the worst D-pad I have ever fucking seen. And I have held some bad controllers in my life. I have fucked with the Nubia controller. Super, super bad D-pad. I tried to play some Samurai Showdown with it.
Sure.
And I gave up on trying to touch the D-pad. It was so bad that I was like, I guess I'll try and play using the stick.
Well, I mean, I figured that it's okay, because doesn't it, like, read your inputs with its negative latency or whatever?
Answer, absolutely not. Latency was super terrible. My coworker was telling me about how when you, like, take a screenshot or take a video clip, you do so pressing the screenshot button, a la, like, say, the Switch, at which point it plays this incredibly, like, loud noise, which just, like, interrupts gameplay and, like, flashes the screen, like...
Jesus.
It, like, disrupts play for, like, 5 seconds to take a screenshot. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sitting there, like, playing the incredibly latent Samurai Showdown. I'm like, let me try and, like, take a screenshot. At which point, I hit the screenshot button, and it pops an error message up on screen that says that screenshots can only be taken when playing Stadia hooked up to a television.
What?
There's no reason for that limitation to exist. Now think about just how easy it is for you to natively, using the operating system of your phone, to take a screenshot on your phone. And what Stadia is telling you is you can't even do something that your phone can do all the time.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. I was not able to try Destiny, the other free game that they have right now, because at the time that he dug out his phone and the Stadia controller, Destiny was down for about 12 hours of maintenance. Yeah. So that's good.
Like Destiny or like Stadia's Destiny?
Stadia Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yep. Real good. If you try and buy something in one of the games that has a in-game, like, store functionality that worked on other platforms, like if you're playing NBA 2K on Stadia and you try and, like, buy sneakers for your dude or something, here's what happens. You press the in-game store button, which would normally complete a purchase on, like, PS4, Xbox, or PC. And instead, it kicks an error message, and it throws a link on screen to a link for the Stadia store, which you then have to manually copy with your controller. You have to manually copy the link, then get out your phone, which will have captured that link, but only if you go through the process of manually copying it with the controller, at which point you open Chrome, paste that link, and can then buy it. That's the process of trying to complete a microtransaction or buy any kind of DLC from inside of a game on Stadia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems useless.
Also, Guilt, the current only Stadia exclusive. It's apparently about a 4 to 6 hour experience. Not very good. Which I'm disappointed to hear because I like the developer. I like Tequila Works. They generally do good stuff. So it's about a 4 to 6 hour experience. And it is $30.
That's not great.
It sure isn't. Also, Destiny, when you subscribe to Stadia Pro, one of the things that you're supposedly getting with Stadia Pro is games natively rendered at 4K. That is literally the whole point of signing up for Stadia Pro. But what Destiny 2 does is render at 1080p and then upscale or pixel duplicate to achieve 4K display. So it's doing the same thing as, like, say, if you were to plug a PS4 or Xbox One, you know, like, not like a Pro or X1 X. It's just like if you were to plug like a regular base PS4 or base Xbox One into a 4K television, it's doing that. So your big 4K display is just up-res 1080p. For some reason, and tell me if this one makes sense, guys, everything on Stadia has like exhaustively long like loading times. Playing Samurai Showdown, I was pretty sure I was going to die waiting for it to load.
I thought their whole deal was like no loading time. No, it was like no install time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, load times are still absolutely exhaustive.
That's whack. Fuck.
So yeah, Stadia's bad, y'all. I hereby dub thee to ya. It really does feel like somebody was like, fuck, this time next year, people are going to be trying to pick between like Xbox 2 or whatever they fucking call that thing and like PS5. If we wait until next year, literally no one will care about this thing. So why don't we put it out now, have it suck, and just hope that we can like dump enough money into like the PR for image rehabilitation for this thing over the course of the next 12 months. Just like,
why not do it right the first time and save yourself the trouble? Whatever the fuck. You want to hire a bunch of marketing people, that's fine. We're creating jobs in the marketing industry by having bad ideas and putting them out half-baked. Wow!
But Tegan, if we wait until it's done right, then those other guys are going to have their boxes out.
Yeah, their boxes, and apparently Project Scarlet's like a billion times faster than the PS5 or something, or maybe that was the other way around. I don't remember. I saw like a headline this morning.
Well, the Scarlet is going to be a suite of boxes. You can pick between 1 of 3 boxes, so...
A suite of boxes! Oh, are they all going to be red? If they're not red, I'm going to be sad.
There will be the fuck-off streaming-only box, then the entry-level box, and then the fancy box.
It was the fancy box red.
Fancy box will obviously be super red, mega red. It'll be a color vortex. Other colors around it become red.
I mean, I am the one, part of the appeal of Nintendo consoles is that they're colorful and fun. I want my gaming system to be fun. It doesn't all have to be sleek and black and white and boring. Christ. Make my gaming console fun, 2K20.
I kind of miss the GameCube.
The GameCube was fucking great. It had awesome and ugly colors.
Oh yeah, and that carrying hook.
I know of no ugly colors for the GameCube.
Oh,
dude, that orange?
That orange was nasty.
It was legit vomit color, dog. What are you talking about?
Are you talking about the Caution Men at Work color orange? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. The nasty one that made you nauseous to look at.
the spice must flow. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
What about the fucking N64 that had like a line of clear plastic consoles,
those
but they were
things.
colored clear plastic?
Those were
'em.
kind of dope.
Fuck
What are you
'em.
talking about? You didn't like Atomic Purple, Brian?
Remember when the fucking Mac came with a clear back?
Oh, true.
That was cool. I miss when consoles were colorful.
those N64s, those like colored, like semi-transparent N64s, Literally, okay, you know those like ads where like a kid opens a fridge and we have a camera positioned inside the fridge so we can see like the kid and all his asshole friends standing behind him. And he's just like, soda, milk, we've got some purple stuff. Like, also that way we can get to the end of the ad where he goes like, oh, look at this, and we've got some Sunny D. And the kid's like, fuck yeah, I'll take that fake orange juice.
Dude, I fucked with those Sunny D commercials. What are you talking about? I was like, fuck, I'm gonna walk to my fridge with my friends and look inside and see Sunny D. That wasn't a life that I had, but I wanted it.
I did not want that life because I didn't want Sunny D. I like orange juice.
But it's not orange juice.
America's foremost orange food advocate.
Yeah, but I don't like orange juice.
She doesn't like orange juice. This is actually documented on the show.
Orange juice isn't food.
But Sunny D isn't even orange juice. It's like sugar gravel, correct, which is vaguely orange flavored.
Well, I also don't like Tang, and that's also orange and liquid and made of gravel, so whatever.
Made of gravel, Tegan?
Man.
I fuck with Tang, too. Tang is actually my shit. Fuck.
Fucking astronaut beverage.
Why don't I buy more Tang?
Why don't you buy more? I don't think you can buy Tang right now.
They have, like, the tins with, like, the dust or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Grocery.
That's how I buy my iced tea.
The snortable Tang?
Yeah, the PS5 is apparently going to be way faster than Project Scarlet.
Ooh. But, you know, hardware doesn't win console wars. Like, Microsoft knows that. Nintendo knows that. Sony, I guess, is figuring that out. Like, the success of the PS4 wasn't that it was powerful. It was that it was, like, adaptable. Like, it was just like a laptop. So, like, development for it was, like, much like PC development. And, like, increasing the power on it, like, may wow people for, like, a couple of months. But, like, it doesn't translate into, like, winning the war. Especially since the parts cost more.
And also, like, there has been weirdness going on inside of Sony for, like, the last 12 months because there's been this internal power struggle.
Oh, yeah. There's a war going on.
Yeah. And so, like, just a couple of weeks ago, we had that story about how third-party developers have had a hard time, like, getting their dev kits or even getting accurate specs for the PS5. They're like, we don't know what the fuck is going on over there. I can't help but wonder if this is Sony doing some kind of, like, last-minute juicing of the PS5 based on what they think they've heard about Scarlet. But Scarlet is also supposed to be 3 different boxes. And I can't think of a better way for Sony to just fuck themselves in the butt than to be like, oh God, we got to make sure that we're more powerful than Scarlet out of the gate. And then price themselves into being the most expensive console on the market at launch. Because let's review the history of the last 2 most expensive consoles at launch for a generation. Xbox One spent years, you know, like having to do fucking hey girl apologies. And like, it basically took, like, do you think like a less capable CEO than Phil Spencer could have bailed Xbox out as a division? I look at where Microsoft's relationship was with the Xbox division after Don Matrick fucked it up and released a $500 console with a mandatory dumb camera that nobody wanted. And they were like, yeah, maybe we should just sell this whole division. It took substantial work to dig out of that hole with releasing the most expensive console on the market with a whole bunch of shit that nobody wanted. And if you go further back, there was the PS3 that launched at the hubris level of $600.
But it was a cheap Blu-ray player, Brian.
And that argument where they're like, hey guys, it's a cheap Blu-ray player. And that also was just like a middle finger to their audience because the audience was like, hey, you know what we don't really care about? Whether or not it's a cheap Blu-ray player. Another issue with the PS3 was, again, at the hardware level, they did a whole bunch of shit with the system architecture that made the PS3 difficult to develop for, which meant that designing games in tandem for both the PS3 and the Xbox 360 meant that even though the Xbox 360 was a less powerful console, it frequently had the better version between the two devices because the 360 was easier to develop for. Like, there are numerous examples of that over the life of those two consoles. Like, probably my favorite one is Skyrim, where Bethesda couldn't even figure out how to fucking get the DLC working for Skyrim until nearly the end of the generation, because it would keep on breaking the game whenever they would like load the DLC into it. At which point they're just like, fuck it, and just like put the DLC out for free for PS3 customers. So like, sorry, like this DLC is multiple years late for you guys because the PS3 is that much of a pain in the ass. I hope they consider the implications of like last minute juicing the strength of their console.
You know they won't.
Does anyone ever consider their consequences?
When
will you learn? Interactions have consequences.
What is going to be interesting, I think, is like right now the power gap between the Xbox One and the PS4 and the Switch is not too substantive on like the base level. Like it definitely exists, but you know, developers can target those platforms in such a way that it's still possible to like pretty easily create something that like runs good and looks nice on all three of those platforms and doesn't necessarily look like you're hamstringing the game too much. But like stuff which was targeted for those platforms and then ported definitely shows it. You know, like see Witcher 3, you know, that kind of thing. What's going to happen to like the Switch development pipeline for like major third-party releases once the power gap between Microsoft and Sony's console and Nintendo's console gets even larger because of the way the console generations are offset between the two groups of publishers? Sony and Microsoft generally release near each other, and then Nintendo is generally off cycle from those two. I don't think that Nintendo's in any rush to get out of the Switch generation this time because of how well the Switch is doing. But part of what has made the Switch a success this time around is their ability to reasonably get third-party support. Like, they do not need to rely on, like, major Nintendo first-party titles to, like, bolster the value proposition of the console this time. So, what happens? I don't know.
Nintendo's never really, like, relied too heavily on third-party developers that play in the AAA space. And I'm pretty sure Nintendo's comfortable, like, leaning on their own IP, as well as possibly becoming, like, a retro middleware console that would be available on, like, the Scarlet and the PS5, but that's not why you buy those consoles. You know what I mean?
I mean, there is plenty of, like, indie stuff coming out right now on the Switch that isn't necessarily like chasing a retro aesthetic.
Sure.
You know, stuff like Gree, for example, which is this week finally coming to PS4. So like there's plenty of stuff that like looks pretty and looks very technically capable. And I guess that's the stuff I'm thinking about, which isn't necessarily like major third-party developers, because the major third-party developers are divided into three camps. Either don't give a fuck and aren't putting the effort in there because they just think that people will come to them on PS4 or Xbox One anyway. Give just enough of a fuck to greenlight a port, but the port they put out is bad. Or willing to put in the time and money to enable wizardry to create a good port. Like 2K has done that a few times. You know, Bethesda's done that a few times. So what happens to the ratios for those games, you know, the don't give a fuck, put out a bad port, or put out a good port for third-party titles, you know, after the new consoles come out? And I also think about how, like, when the technical level of, like, game development hopped forward with the Xbox 360 and the PS3, the Wii got left in kind of a weird place with third-party development, where all of a sudden it wasn't really reasonable to target all three platforms at once because you weren't necessarily targeting PS2, Xbox, and Wii. You were now targeting Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii. And the Wii was just so much less powerful than the other two, which meant that like what developers started doing was coming up with these like kind of like haggard-ass, not so much ports of whatever the game was that was coming out of the other two, but like also like a game which kind of like shared most of the name as the game that was coming out on the other consoles. So it would have some title like, but also Call of Duty. And you're like, okay, what is but also Call of Duty? Like, well, it's but also Call of Duty. See? You can use the pointy wand thing to shoot. Isn't it fun? You're like, oh. Why is that man backing a forklift of Cabela's Big Game Hunter in here? Oh, well, that's because that is the entirety of third-party support this console will have for the next 4 years. Enjoy! So, I don't know. I don't think it's as dire as the Wii, because when the Wii came out, the Wii shop was still like a very underdeveloped presence. There were very few original games of note that were coming out on the Wii shop. There was fucking World of Goo, and that was about it. People are making serious bank on the Switch's eShop, so I feel like indies will be fine. It'll be interesting to see if the types of indies that target the Switch change at all. I'm curious as to what does change with third-party support, because third-party support has been okay. Not great, but okay for the Switch for the last few years. I mean, the main reason people are going to come to a Nintendo console, though, is always going to be those first-party titles, but third-party titles and indie titles are nice to fill in those gaps between major Nintendo releases. Rocky?
Yes.
I feel like you're going to fill in a gap for me. And it's not even a sex thing.
It's really sounding like a sex thing, man.
Yeah.
No. The gap that Rocky's filling in is for the last multiple episodes. I've said to Rocky, please tell me what you think of Perfect Harmony.
Oh, yep.
And Rocky said, no. This gap must continue to exist in your life because I'm a monster without feelings.
Sure. Yeah, that's who I am. So anyways, I've been watching fall sitcoms, guys. That's what I do. I love sitcoms. They're some of my favorite things. I've been watching some of the new ones, giving them an honest shot, gave them 6 episodes. There's a couple of them that I haven't gotten to 6 episodes with, like Bluff City Law and Mixed-ish.
Whoa, hold a goddamn minute.
Sure, Bluff City Law's a drama, whatever. I mean, it's a new TV show.
I'm not even debating the comediness or dramaness of Bluff City Law. You would subject yourself to 6 episodes of Bluff City Law?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, are you the human personification of the Johnny Cash Hurt video?
No.
Oh my god,
Brian, I watch a lot of TV. Look, that's just it.
The first time I saw that Bluff City Law, just the fucking trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the trailer for Bluff City Law. I can't even describe how angry it made me.
Really?
Yes.
You're mad at Bluff City Law.
I am fucking furious at Bluff City Law. I want to fight a man.
What are you mad about?
All right.
Tasty.
It's the most trite thing conceptually. He's a straight-laced lawyer. She's his, radical daughter who colors outside the lines. Now they're practicing law together. Will their worldviews clash, or will they grow closer as a family and change each other's perspective while doing good things for their community? It is the fucking okay boomer, just guzzle this whole can of clam chowder while, clipping fucking Family Circus out the newspaper, bullshit-ass fuck you of television shows. There is a moment in the trailer where you see, Jimmy fucking Smits write on a Post-it note and slide the Post-it note over to his daughter. And she's like, oh, what's on the Post-it note that my father slid to me? What's on this secret Post-it note? And I'm like, oh God, this show hates us. This show disrespects us. And I remember saying to my wife, that thing is going to be the most trite, terrible, disrespectful, fuck you, miscalculation of our intelligence that this show could possibly offer up. And then they're going to just play some music that swells, and we're going to be inspired by it. And he slides a fucking Post-it note over to her that says, change the world on it. And, like, I just started screaming at my television. I was like, yep, this is this television show. Fuck Bluff City Law. Fuck it. Oh my God. Like, do you just feel bad watching it? Like,
it is a show that's on. Reminds me of, like, why people watch, like, the Hallmark Network. It is a TV show. And it's not really trying to say anything new or interesting. It's just having these people, you know, interact, I guess. It's fine. I don't care. But I'm only, like, 4 episodes in. So, like, I'll get to 6 and I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this anymore. Probably. But I don't know that for sure. Maybe 6th episode changed that for me. Apparently the 6th episode of Mixed is just a really big deal. So, I don't know. See what happens.
Okay. So you have listed 2 television shows here, which, I mean, I assume that you have reached your threshold with both and can deliver verdicts.
Yeah. Sunnyside's a pretty cool show. Cal Penn, like, might have found his dream role. Like, he's having a really good time doing this. And the show, for the initiated, may be something akin to the spiritual successor to Parks and Rec. It's a huge multicultural show of people that aren't especially good at what they're doing. It's more of like a found family type of shenanigan. It follows a group of people who are in America but aren't quite citizens for various reasons and are attempting to study for their citizenship test. Cal Penn is a disgraced councilman who lost his recall election and is a bit of a local celebrity in Queens and, like, happens upon this group who have no idea about the information that's necessary for the citizen test, including one of the people who's actually a dreamer, who's lived in America the whole time, just never got into it. In his defense, he didn't really know he was a dreamer, and, like, he was just, like, trying to live his life, and it turns out his mom just brought him there as, like, an infant or whatever. I guess technically a toddler. They're getting really into this shit. They have a hearing for someone who has been snatched up by ICE to see if they can stay in the country, who's currently, like, incarcerated, being held at some detainment center. A couple of them are, like, you know, share real anxiety about being in certain, like, city, like, offices, because if they get picked up, like, they just get, like, disappeared and that'll be the end of them or whatever. And it's a good show. There are really solid laughs. They are handling their subject matter earnestly, at least in my opinion. I will continue watching this show. Like, I like it a lot. It's a good time.
I checked out on Sunnyside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it was because they were probably making the ramp to redemption for Cal Penn's character, like, too fast. And I kind of like with shows that kind of feel like they have this unlikely family with a redemption of a single character at the core of it. I want those shows to make that main character or make that central character work harder and suffer longer. Garrett Modi seems to, like, already just like a few episodes in, have an understanding that he's a piece of shit. He's like, gosh, I'm a piece of shit. I should try not to be a piece of shit. And, like, it should take him months and years to, like, start to, like, piece that together. You know, like, I want him to at first just, like, float through the show being a piece of shit, because that makes it easier for the viewer to, like, develop affinity and develop, like, real affection for the characters around that character, because you're rooting for them to, like, succeed in spite of the fact that they have an asshole in their midst. I think back to, like, Jeff Winger on Community, who starts a study group because he wants to fuck a blonde girl.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, immediately on the show, you're rooting for the blonde girl to not get taken in by, like, Winger's shittiness, and that for everybody else in the study group to get the help with their Spanish that they need in spite of this asshole. And that's how you, like, get to know those other characters. And it took, like, quite some time for, like, Winger to become, like, a sympathetic figure, like, on the reg. And, like, same goes for, like, AP Bio. That show, like, the central character who's a piece of shit doesn't really understand that he's a piece of shit. And so, like, when Jack Griffin shows up, he still tells his class to, like, shut up and stop talking. And he still, like, has, like, weird schemes that really go nowhere. And, like, only is now, like, vaguely occasionally going, like, maybe I should reconsider, like, my perspective. Like, Garrett Modi, like, full in, like, one episode in is, like, maybe I should be less of a piece of shit. And
well, yeah, but he still is a piece of shit. Like, I don't think he's actually stopped being a piece of shit, even if he's aware of it. Sure, that awareness undercuts it, or maybe it makes it worse. It depends on who you ask. But, like, Garrett Modi still, like, dips out, like, on the study group, or, like, uses them for personal gain. There's I can't remember his name right now, but the Ethiopian immigrant who used to be a doctor, like, he's bonding with, like, Garrett's sister, because, like, that's the closest he's gonna get to, like medical work anytime soon. And so, like, they share stories and whatnot, and that's really cool. But they both acknowledge that Garrett's a piece of shit, even if he's, like, aware of it or whatever. Or, like, the kid who's a Moldovan dreamer, when they go to, like, not the DMV, but it's some government building, and he's just, like, trying to coax him to, like, come along with him, even though he's afraid that he might just, like, get snatched up if someone figures out that he's a dreamer, and, like, he just talks to the wrong guard or whatever. And eventually he has to dip out, and he, like, just doesn't understand, like, what he's so afraid of. Like, it's a whole thing. I don't think, I think Garrett Modi, like, is aware that he's a piece of shit. Like, that is pretty apparent to him, but I don't think it's changing his behavior at all. And I don't feel bad for Garrett Modi, like, especially he's a piece of shit. I think he's finding ways to use, like, his shittiness to, like, his group's advantage, like, on the one where they go on that cable, like, talk show or whatever. But I don't think that's enough to make him a sympathetic character. He's still a terrible dude. And even if he's using that terribleness, like, to the benefit of others, it doesn't make him a good person.
Okay. All right. So it might seem that, like, we both looked under the hood of this thing, saw the same general construction, and just came to different conclusions about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. He is aware that he's a piece of shit. I wish he wasn't. And you're like, oh, okay, he's aware of a piece of shit, but, like, the self-awareness does not make him any more sympathetic.
Right.
I think the other thing that, like, kind of rubbed me the wrong way about that show was it felt like some of the characters were becoming, like, very, very singularly one note the longer the show went on. And I think that might just be because, like, the writers are having more fun writing for some characters in particular.
Mm-hmm.
They would seem to, like, write better material for Griselda and Hakeem, like, giving Griselda and Hakeem, like, depth, but, like, that Moldovan dude you talk about is, like, very, very singularly one note, and the, like, weird Asian twins are, like, also very, very singularly one note.
I mean, they're both dumb. They do more with them in, like, episodes 5 and 6.
Okay. And honestly, like, I don't know if any one of our listeners out there, like, because here is a very, very narrow focus group, which is probably a focus group of one, and you know who you are, yo. I worry if the portrayal of these Asian twins is problematic.
Yeah. I think it is distinctly problematic, but I think, like, what they're trying to meld it in with is, like, the idea that their father is actually, like, some weird supervillain or whatever, which I hope they lean more...
Right, and the idea of, like, I think that even just, like, weird Asian dictator feels like tropey in a bad way itself, and...
I don't think he's actually, like, a dictator. Like, I think he's, like, a businessman.
They established in at least one episode that their father was also a dictator. And it was on the episode, like, where I decided to dip out, which was the one where... I guess I made it 7 episodes in. It was the one where their money gets frozen and they no longer have access to any money.
That is 7, yeah.
Yeah, and when they explain, like, why they don't have any money, they're like, well, there was a coup and our father's not in power anymore.
Yeah, that's right. That did recently happen. Fuck.
And you're like, oh, Jesus. So you're saying that their father's full on a fucking dictator. And then there was, like, an earlier episode where they talked about, like, him, like, disappearing previous wives. And then they're like, oh, well, you can do that when you're president. And you're like, what? Like, but, like, it always seems to be, like, whatever inappropriate Asian trope they want to run, they just, like, have these characters, like, Lin voice, too. There was, like, even, like, a quasi-incest dance scene gimmick.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And again, like, also, like, I don't feel qualified to be the guy who points at something and says that's racism. Because I'm over here. Like, hi, listeners. I'm the white guy on this show. It's not my only job, but it is one of them.
He's also podcast dad and the boss.
I am the pod father, I've been told. I reject that job. But
I don't think it's a job you get to reject. I think you're just stuck with it.
I'm just the pod father.
Yeah, you're just the pod father.
Yeah.
You're the one who founded the pod.
But like, I definitely watched Sunnyside and felt like, oh geez, like it wasn't just those characters I felt that way about too. They seem to like back off on the shitty racist writing around Griselda.
Mm-hmm.
When they started writing for that character, like Griselda had like this like unreasonable number of jobs. She's like, I'm a Dominican and I have 19 jobs. And I'm like, that's a joke that people actively make and it's not good. Like the Dominican with 19 jobs thing is like is a racist joke. So like it definitely seems worse with the Asian twin characters. It sets off alarms, and a lot of times, like, unlike, let's say, like the character of like Senior Chang on Community, I never really felt like there was a through line to where they were going with that character, and that that the writing was going to become deeper or better for the character. Like, I just like see these like weird twins and go like, yep, this seems to be all this fucking is. Like, now, I could be entirely wrong. I could eat my fucking hat. Like, for all I know, in 3 years, like, these would be the most well-drawn characters on television, but I certainly don't believe it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I dipped out, but I see that there's another show here, and this is the one that I've been bothering you about for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Where did you land on Perfect Harmony?
I don't like it. I don't think I'm going to keep watching it.
All right.
For people who don't know, Perfect Harmony is a musical TV show set in the wilds of Kentucky. Not the wilds of Kentucky, but like a rural town in Kentucky where, you know, fancy pants fat cat, Princeton choir director just recently, the word's not celebrated, but I guess it's not really mourned. His wife died.
He is widowed.
Widowed! Thank you. He's recently widowed. The first episode, the pilot starts where he's just in his car with a fifth of bourbon, like contemplating his own suicide. And he's pulled out his pills or whatever. And he hears like some racket from inside the nearby church that handled his wife's funeral. And there's a choir practicing and they're awful. They're legit terrible. And he walks in drunk off his ass. Like, and he roasts like everyone there, apparently. He just walks in and like rudely like asserts his dominance as like a choir aficionado. And then he passes out because he already took some of the pills. And, you know, the country folk decide to just wrap him up and take care of him and wait for him to sleep it off and whatnot. And then they decide that he's their new choir director, and like against his will, he has actually nowhere else to go because he's still mourning and he doesn't want to leave. And thus begins like the relationship with these people. Where he's a choir director and the choir that sucks and whatnot. And so there's a couple of like things that they've set up, like instead of doing like regionals, there's like a competition versus this mega church. And there is still like the Glee formula. Like there is the young woman that is usually the head of the choir, the best voice there. There's one that's trying to take her spot. There's a young man who is, well, I guess he's an adult that isn't aware of his talent, but he's actually a really good baritone. And there's the guy who's like the troublemaker, who like is in parallel to the guy from Glee who later turned out to be a pedophile. And so like they're doing Glee, but like in the country with a misanthrope like teacher instead of a happy one. And so like it is a formula, but all their storylines are super rushed, and they want us to feel the feels, but they haven't done any of the work. And the 6th episode, I think, ends with a situation where the lead actor, Bradley Crawford, I have that right, Brian?
Bradley Whitford.
Bradley Whitford, thank you. Bradley Whitford shreds his concert tuxedo and twerks as a distraction to help their friend who's like messed up with some costume contest at this diner. And it's just like, I don't need to be here for this. This is not necessary to my life, so I'm not going to be there anymore. And that's where I'm at.
Did you try the unicorn by chance? Did that make the cut for shows that Rocky tries?
It's on my list. I haven't got 6 episodes yet.
I'm really enjoying that.
I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah. I'm such a stan for Walton Goggins, the lead on The Unicorn. He's a weird character actor who seems to be able to do, like, just about anything competently. He has this, like, his generation's Willem Dafoe vibe where you're like, look at this weird fucking dude. And for some reason, somebody's like, what if we made a romantic comedy about a guy who's a widower raising 2 daughters, and our lead for this show is Walton fucking Goggins. Because he's such a good actor, he sells it. And so you just watch this, like, weird dude, like, run around, like, Raleigh, North Carolina, and be like, I'm on Tinder now, gotta get the girls to bed. And I like it. But I kind of ended up comparing Perfect Harmony to The Unicorn most frequently because they both seem to be shows about, like, the shenanigans of a recently widowed man. That's the reason I bring up The Unicorn.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like, these are both shows where the essential premise is, like, this guy's wife just died. Which is probably why I, like, stopped comparing Perfect Harmony to stuff like
Glee.
Yeah, like, because it seemed to be like if you were to try and do the elevator pitch for Perfect Harmony, you'd be like, what if Glee met Community? It's like, here's a character who's kind of a butthead, and he's surrounded by people who aren't buttheads, and now they're going to make music. They're like, well, you know what? I actually liked that best when Glee just did that as a single episode. Sorry, when Community did that as a single episode. One of my favorite all-time lines on that show was, Glee literally means glee. But I think that, like, I might still be on board with Perfect Harmony.
Okay.
I think that part of it has to do with actors on that show that I have a great affinity for. Like, I think that, like, Bradley Whitford is very, very funny. He has one of my favorite comedic line deliveries in film in, like, the last, like, several years, which is the line he had in Get Out, where he just, like, absolutely deadpans, I would have voted for Obama for a 3rd time if they would have let me. It's a line that, like, gets a lot of room to breathe and is designed to be allowed to make you laugh. And it's like, he's good at doing comedy. And so, like, I give him a lot of latitude. I give Anna Camp a lot of latitude.
The problem with that show, and the reason that I'm not going to stick with it, is I think it has the same problem that the Newsroom did, where they had a lot of really great talent, like, brought in, but there's just, like, something wrong with, like, the bones of it, you know? Like, Emily Mortimer on the Newsroom, like, Emily Mortimer is an intensely talented actress, but it's like Sorkin had some dirt on her that they just made her character do just insanely dumb shit. Like, what was it? I think, like, there was a bit in the Newsroom where, like, Emily Mortimer, like, has a quirk where she can't do simple mathematics. Like, she always needs to do with her fingers. And then, like, they had Jeff Bridges? No, that's not right. But, like, the male lead, like, embarrass her in front of the entire Newsroom about it. And it's just,
Jeff
like,
Daniels.
fuck. Jeff Daniels. Okay.
Yes.
See, I'm getting first names, not last names. Fuck. And they had Jeff Daniels just fucking embarrass her, like, in the middle of the Newsroom. And, like, it didn't add to the story or anything. It just seemed to be a moment to roast Emily Mortimer. And I'm like, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, what is this for? What does this add to this show? It's not funny. It's just, like, mean for no good reason. And, like, there's a lot of moments in Perfect Harmony that seem to just, like, try to hodgepodge some shit together with these, like, really good actors. And, like, it's worse than just, like, the writing not being there. Like, there's something wrong with production or something. I don't know. That, like, they can't, like, put together a 22-minute episode. And it's just, they just, like, kind of spew out, like, their development without, like, any sort of, like, trial to get them there. And it's just, like, it's badly paced. It's poorly constructed, but it has a really good cast. And, like, I'm not willing to trust the cast through that because I've seen better shows trash because of it.
Yeah. And I may very well run out of gas on the thing because there is a lot of TV out there. And I really just don't have the time for all of it.
Living in the golden age.
And for me personally, one of the most likely candidates for a bubble show Like, do I watch Perfect Harmony this week, or do I play some like more video game, or watch more people dropping each other's heads on the hardest part of the apron? It probably end up being one of those things. But for the time being, I will watch Old Man Bradley Whitford and Anna Camp.
Try to do a singing?
At least until my Anna Camp thirst is exhausted.
That's the thing. I don't have Anna Camp curse. Anna Camp thirst. I might have Anna Camp curse, but that's a whole other thing.
Yep. Tegan is dead. We have killed Tegan.
No, hold on. We're gonna bring her back. So I've been playing Pokemon Sword, and there's a man in Pokemon Sword, Brian. He is known as Ball Guy. There's a photo of him in our show doc.
What the Christing fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, like, Ball Guy, right? He's a guy who is a Pokeball fanatic. And you'll meet him at every gym. And if you speak to him, he will give you a themed Pokeball with, like, a joke or whatever. He always has a joke and a new Pokeball for you. He's a pretty good dude. And he's always looking out for us, I guess.
No, he's not your friend. He's not your friend. He's a weirdo.
I mean, he's weird, sure. But, like, I've had weird friends. I have weird friends right now. He always has a joke to tell and a Pokeball in his pocket for you. And, like, sure, he, like, for some reason painted his limbs, like, chalk white. And he wears this Pokeball with, like, googly eyes on it.
I don't think he painted his limbs chalk white. I think he's wearing, like, gloves and, like, tights. I think they're part of the mascot costume.
I think he's got one of those, what do they call them, Zentai suits on.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then for some reason, he's dressed like he works at fucking AutoZone.
I was gonna say Circuit City.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we all know it's Target. I don't know why you guys are trashing these other places. We know he works at Target. He'd go into Target and people would ask him questions because he's wearing a red shirt.
The reason I went with AutoZone was because of the shorts.
True.
I would be on board with the Target idea if it was long pants.
But Ball Guy's cool. That's all I'm saying. He's a nice dude. He's a fount of positivity in this weird, not Britain world. And he just wants to share his love of Pokeballs with the world, and I think that's beautiful.
Rocky, he looks like a sex offender.
No, he does. 100%. Yes, absolutely. That's why you don't follow him to his van or whatever. Just take your Pokeball and leave. Whatever.
That's how he gets you, Rocky.
What? With a Pokeball? Brian, you know how Pokeballs work.
Oh, no, this is a bad idea.
Oh, man. Yeah, this Ball Guy. He's one of the highlights of Pokemon Sword right now. And I got really over level just fucking around the wild area. I do know that they took it down for maintenance, like, on Thursday? Because, like, it is kind of laggy, and that does kind of suck. But, like, outside of that, it's cool, because, like, I don't know what the limit is, but there are just, like, hundreds of, like, actual, like, avatars just running around the wild area.
Yeah, there's actual people, and you can talk to them, and they'll give you shit.
Yeah, so you talk to everyone, they give you just free items. You can raid with random people. You can trade trainer cards. You can set up.
You raid with your friends. I raided with my friends like all last weekend. It was great.
That sounds dope. I'm gonna do a bit of that tonight.
I was just like, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do this Butterfree raid. Look for the little thing on the Y scanner or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then you just click it, and then you're there with your friends, and you're taking down a fucking Butterfree that's gonna kick your ass. God.
Yo, I'm actually kind of interested. So like. With the raids, like, you can easily choose them with type advantages, where, like, you just blow them up in one turn. But if you don't blow them up in one turn, like, there's some weird effects that it has. Like, it gets, like, a shielding abilities where it takes, like, a couple free hits.
Yeah!
And it, like, buffs itself and stuff. And, like, that's pretty cool. Like, I wonder, like, what, like, tougher raids are really gonna be like when I get there.
I did a Gyarados raid, and he kicked my ass.
Fuck! That sounds dope!
He kicked my ass so bad. Like, if your Pokemon faints in a raid battle, when it comes back around to your turn again, you get a choice to, like, cheer, and then the next turn, if there are people still around, your Pokemon's revived. Which is great, because then you can get back in. But then if it faints again, you're expelled from the raid battle.
Ooh, 2 deaths? I respect
2 deaths, you're expelled from the raid battle. Which makes sense, you only get one Pokemon, like, whatever. But, like, it kicked my ass in the cruelest way possible. Like, I joined late, so I didn't get to change my Pokemon, so I just put my first one in there, and it was my poor...
Oh, no. It was
my poor Raboost. It was bad. It was so bad.
Oh, no.
Like, we almost got a TKO with the first attack, and we were just like, this is dumb. We're not ready for Gyarados, obviously. But it was, I just got launched out, and then both of my friends texted me, and they're like, Tegan, no!
Oh, man. I can't wait for the real raid shenanigans.
God, it's good.
I've been filling up my curry decks, though.
Oh, yeah? I haven't done any camping or curry dexing. I need to start. I've got a bunch of ramen to use that people keep giving me. They're like, it fell from the sky. Like,
yeah.
Where did it come from?
Oh, man. I've been getting a lot of tins of beans and, like, pasta.
Okay.
And, I think it's also cool that, like, when you run into people, like, on the overworld, like, they, like, kind of have their greeting, but, like, in their native language.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten some Mandarin. I've gotten some Brazilian Portuguese.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Japanese, some Korean, ton of English.
True.
Some German. It's been fun. And I've seen some of my friends, like, my friends' avatars, even if they're not, like, actively online. If they were online, like, within an hour, sometimes they'll show up, too. Which is neat.
That's cool. I haven't run into anyone I know yet.
Well, a lot of my friends are international, so, like, we don't get to see each other a lot. We don't always hook up, like, online. So it's always fun where it's like, hey, that's my friend's avatar. It says she was last online, like, an hour ago, so I just barely missed her. That's fun.
I dig it. Also, there's a Redditor that posted a story, where he bought both versions, he ripped through them pretty quick, and then he decided to give himself a challenge, and he was gonna run the entire game with a Wooloo, like single Pokemon. And he did it.
He did it.
Yeah, he beat Sword specifically with the one Pokemon Wooloo. Some gym battles took a series of repetitions. Like, I think the most was, I think it was like 10, 15 repetitions against B, like the fighting type trainer, who's like also Bae. Like, shoutouts to her. And it was cool watching his video, like just him running the whole game with this giant sheep or whatever. He got his level 100 when he got to the Pokemon League, so like he did that. He used a lot of items, like the guard specs and whatnot, especially since it's normal type. Like, it gets roasted by just fighting types. You're just gonna eat those. I thought, and I'm interested to see what other, like, crazier, like, challenges show up. I really like the square shiny thing. Like, it sounds dumb, but, like, I think it's pretty cool. And, like, the black sheep Wooloo with, like, square shiny is, like, something that I really want to go farming for.
Yeah, he's cute. God, they're cute. I want to get a shiny Hattney.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go farm for that, because Hattney's cute.
Oh, have you seen the off-brand, like, Poltergeist or Poltegeist things?
No.
So, like, there are counterfeit Poltergeists and real Poltergeists.
What?
And
really?
You can tell that, like, under, like, in the teacup, like, there's, like, a blue stamp if they're real. Like, the Poltergeist, like, the actual Pokemon is probably real, but, like, the cups are either knockoffs or real ones, and the real ones have, like, a blue stamp under them.
Oh, dude.
And it's like I think you get, like, it's a really low chance. I think it's like a 12% chance whenever you run into, like, a Poltergeist that it'll be real or not.
I'm gonna hunt for a real one.
It sounds like a good time. Like, I'll fuck with it.
That sounds like a great time. I'm gonna fuck with that.
Yeah.
God, it's gonna be good. Pokemon's fun. Brian, Pokemon's fun. It's really fun.
It's fun. Like, I feel like explaining Pokemon is kind of, like, in the realm of, like, explaining stuff like Shenmue. It's just like,
yeah, fair.
Like,
and I gotta get into that fucking, like, guys, there's new Shenmue. It happened yesterday.
Yeah, Shenmue 3's real. There's been some, like, really weird reviews that have come out. Like, Polygon, like, hated it because they were expecting, like, an evolution of, like, the Shenmue formula instead of, like, more Shenmue. Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I mean. I think they actually misunderstood, like, what the game was going for. But, like, they really ripped into it because it wasn't Yakuza or Watch Dogs. Or, not Watch Dogs, Sleeping Dogs.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like, no, like, we want more Shenmue, because Shenmue's great. And, like, it's definitely, like, stiff in some particular situations, but, like, that's also part of its, like, appeal. And, I don't know. It feels like that Polygon might have been talking to a different audience. Like, instead of trying to talk to the people who, like, already love Shenmue and they're interested in, like, whether they should pick up this sequel, they were, like, talking to you, like, hey, I know you've never, like, played Shenmue before, and you may have played some other stuff that's been coming out, and you may think it's like this, but it's not. It's its own thing. And, like, it's a nostalgia buy. Like, it's kind of behind the times. Like, that's what their, like, argument was about. And it was weird, but I don't know. I'm gonna fuck with it. Shenmue. Shenmue's dope. Like, fucking forklift?
Man, I am all about, like, more conversations where the way people respond to me barely have anything to do with what the fuck I just said. You know, that's a Shenmue staple. And I'm going to need more just, like, spending whole days dicking off in the arcade. I want to play some Lucky Hit. Rocky, I need to play Lucky Hit.
We'll get after it, man.
Yeah. I heard that the fucking Steelbook is already down to $35 on the PS4.
I mean, that's actually fine, because, like, their development was kickstarted. And so, like, they're already paid. So, like, if every person that, like, signed up for Kickstarter gets their copy of Shenmue 3, they will have made their money and done their job. Everything else now is just gravy. Like, whatever.
I guess the problem, though, is that, like, after the game was kickstarted, they ran out of money, at which point they got a publisher to, like, give them the gap funding to finish development.
That did totally happen, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm more occupied with whether or not those people make their money back, because that'll dictate whether or not there's a Shenmue 4.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, this story was always intended to be, like, an exhaustive number of parts long.
Yes. But then they started dicking around making other stuff, but it's okay because we love it.
Right. So, I just want to see, like, I want the next one of this, like, overly long series, like, give me Shenmue 4, give me Shenmue 5, like, and that only happens if, like, this game is able to, like, make its money. At least break even, video game.
I'm sure it'll break even.
What else we got to talk about?
The Game Awards nominees list came out. Death Stranding is everywhere, and to be honest, I don't think it deserves that. There's some good nods to Control, which I'm happy about. I think it's really interesting that they included Tetris 99 in the list of, like, best multiplayer game. I don't know what that's about, but I guess it's cool. I really am happy about Cadence of Hyrule making it to the best score, like, list. Like, I hope it really does well.
Yeah, I think that's good. It deserves it. I think they did a really good job.
Right. I have beef with their fucking fighting game category, because they did it all wrong. The whole shit. It's just completely incorrect. I'm not down.
What's the biggest grievance with the fighting category?
It's the fact that fucking Jump Force is here! Okay. Like, who the fuck invited them?
Yeah, really? Tell me how you really feel, Rocky.
Oh my god, like, it's so fucking
What's
stupid.
Wrong with Jump Force?
First of all, Jump Force looks terrible. Let's start with that. And then, like, the game is, like, literally the Naruto fighter, where you mash, like, a single button in a 3D space, with, like, potentially your favorite character or whatever. Like, it's overly simple. There's, like, no depth to combat. Like, there's an obvious, like, almost unmovable tier list. Like, it's so stupid. And, like, the voice acting's terrible. Like, it's a bad video game. And, like, somehow it has the most name recognition out of any of these fighting games, with the exception of maybe Smash. Like, Mortal Kombat 11 has, like, a pretty strong, like, North American following, but, like, outside of that, like, it's not a global phenomenon. The opposite is true of fucking Dead or Alive, where it's big in, like, Japan and, like, some parts of Korea, but, like, nowhere else. Sam Show is a good video game, but it's badly managed by SNK at the moment. Its netcode is still terrible, which dissuades people from playing it. That tied in with, like, fucking Infiltration taking their tournament at EVO, and its online presence, like, people don't talk about Sam Show enough. Like, it's just... And, like, why the fuck isn't Tekken here? Like, never mind, I know why Tekken's not here, but, like, honestly, fuck the Game Awards for, like, not doing what was necessary to honoring, like, the biggest fighting game of, like, the last, like, 3 years. It's just, whatever. Like, this shows me that, like, the Game Awards doesn't know what they're doing in relation to fighting games and, like, competition in general. And I'm mad about it. And it's just, oh my god. Fucking. What the fuck, Game Awards?
I think it's interesting that Faker is, like, only just now up for Best Esports Player when he's, like, he's a king of League of Legends. Like, what the fuck?
I actually,
he's been a king for years at this point. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, like, ESPN unironically referred to Faker as the unkillable Demon King.
Yeah, that's because he fucking is.
Nothing's really gonna top that. But him and C9 Sneaky, I feel like they're both on their way out. And, like, it sucks because, like, they are the equivalent of, like, the old guard on both of their teams, SK Telecom 1 and C9, Cloud9. And they are definitely the biggest talents on both of their teams, but, like, they are starved for, like, for teammates.
They're in a different league is the problem. They're, like, way better than everybody else, and no one can keep up with them.
Right. And, like, Faker ends up, like, because Faker is an aggressive, like, offensive player, but he's end up playing, like, these, like, huge, like, support champs in the mid lane to, like, cover for everyone else because he can't trust his team. That sucks. And, like, Sneaky plays these ADCs, so, like, his gameplay doesn't really have to change. But, like, the game plan always ends up being, we're gonna do what we can and try to push the game to 40 minutes, and maybe Sneaky will get one good team fight and we'll win. That's not a sustainable game plan. It just isn't. Like, get these people some teammates. Help them build a real strategy. It's like Kobe mid-2000s all over again. Like, it's so bad. And, like, I feel bad for them. And, like, if Faker wins this, and, like, honestly, I really think it should go to Perks this year, but, like, if Faker wins this, like, it's gonna, like, signal that either Faker needs to move to a different team, or, like, they need to restructure the team around Faker instead of having Faker carry whoever they can get. Like, But yeah, I'm like, I have beef with the Game Awards. There are some good things that they're doing here, but there's, like, obvious, like, shenanigans. I like the fact that they have this Games for Impact section. I only care for maybe, like, 3 of them on this list. I obviously have, like, interests in Best RPG and Best Ongoing Game, etc. I feel bad because I don't know a lot of, like, some of these in, like, Best Narrative. I really should fuck with Disco Elysium and Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds is good. You should fuck with Outer Worlds.
And,
You should fuck with Outer Worlds. We're, like, literally just about to beat it.
Well, fuck.
I do like that, Best Family Game is just Nintendo. It's just 5 Nintendo games.
Yeah, I also, like, have real questions about, like, what Best Family Game really means in this situation.
Yeah, it just seems to be, like, which Nintendo game that came out this year do you like a lot?
Yeah, and, like, there are other, like, kid-friendly games, or even, like group-oriented, like, party games that are around and that are not made by Nintendo, and I feel like they're getting snubbed here, but I don't know. Just
right, but, like, so what does it mean? Why isn't this just, like, Best New Nintendo Game?
Best New Nintendo Game? Oh, I don't know. Also, I'm interested in how this Best Strategy Game will play out. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of push for Fire Emblem, but I think it'd be a travesty if like, Total War doesn't win.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I think Wargroove, like, would really benefit from the press here, because it is actually a very good video game, but it hasn't really been talked about enough. And I don't know, it's a pretty, like, comprehensive, like, Advanced Wars in the Modern Age experience. And the writing's better, and, like, it's cutesy and stuff. I don't know, whatever. It's probably just a targeting issue.
Fire Emblem's main problem with, like, Best Strategy Game was you're not gonna get the whole story without playing the game 4 times, but also, like, they don't tell you which story is gonna answer the most questions first, and so, like, you pick which house you want because it's cool, and then you end up very, very, very lost later on.
I have lots and lots of thoughts on these nominations.
Which one's your most problematic nomination?
I feel like the relationship between Jeff Keighley and Kojima I don't think you can disentangle that relationship from any given Death Stranding nomination. Keeley is in fucking Death Stranding. He is a character in the video game. They're close. And since, like, Kojima decided to just, like, make Death Stranding this, like, weird insight into his life and just, you know, fill the game with his friends, the guy who runs the Game Awards is a character in that video game. Like, that...
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, but if you could make a video game with all your friends, you would. You'd put your friends in a game.
I would also realize that for some things, that would also create conflicts of interest.
Hmm.
You know, there are characters in Death Stranding who are reviewers for Famitsu. That creates a conflict of interest. I get the nomination for Control for Game of the Year. Like, Control has been nothing but rave reviews. I need to get the fuck in there.
Control is something. That's for sure.
I'm really surprised that The Outer Wilds didn't also make it into the Game of the Year nominations. And this is where I start to get sticky about...
It did, though. It's in Fresh Indie Games. Presented by Subway.
Right. Also, man, I don't want to talk about that category. I want to leave them alone. Jesus Christ.
Subway is just going to take away the award for most problematic corporate relationship.
I mean,
Sure.
you know. Duh. But...
It's not like there haven't been indie games represented before in the Game Awards Game of the Year category. In fact, what it has generally been in the past has been like, here are some big studio nominees, and then usually whatever was the most critically propulsive indie game of the year, which this year would either be The Outer Wilds or Disco Elysium.
both of them are represented in Best Independent Game, which is another category.
But all right, and I guess I'm reaching a point where, like, I feel like Best Independent Game is like Artifice in a stupid category.
Oh, gotcha. You want them to be included in, like, the regular Game of the Year, not
Right,
by
like,
a multi-million-dollar studio or whatever.
You don't watch the Oscars and see, like, and now the category for Best Indie Movie, like, because it's a artificial limit on the critical reception of games in order to make sure that, like, major companies, which are multi-million-dollar enterprises, can get more grist for their marketing mill. It's more important to ensure that, like, say, a Capcom or an Activision or a Microsoft or a Nintendo can slap a gold sticker on the next version of a package that says, winner of 4 Game of the Year awards. As long as that is more important for a game award than actively trying to, like, assess the most important pieces of art of that year, then there is going to be a measure of that's bullshit to those awards, period.
Well, yeah.
And one thing that is clear to me from talking to anybody who's played Disco Elysium is that, like, Disco Elysium gets up to some shit and is a big deal. And I really don't think my little handheld PC, my little GPD Win can run Disco Elysium, which means that I'm likely going to have to wait for the console ports next year.
Mm-hmm.
But everything I've heard about it and everything I've read about what the game does sounds like really transformative in the world of, like, RPGs, and sounds like a big fucking deal. And, like, the stuff that, like, Outer Wilds did, like, I really enjoyed the Outer Wilds. Like, Outer Wilds manages to scratch, like, 2 itches, like, 3 itches very, very well. Puzzle solving, exploration, and then lastly, like, the sense of, like, you know, finding value and truth in, like, repeated sequences, which is a very, very hard thing to do, and that games, like, try and shy away from, because when games put you in the same situation over and over again, even if they're hanging a gameplay mechanic on it, it always runs the risk of, like, trying your patience. When the moon hits, you're going to start over in Majora. Like, and so, like, that the Outer Wilds asks you to start over every 20 minutes could be a thing that's incredibly trying, but never comes across that way. You don't ever really mind in the Outer Wilds when, like, the sun collapses and you have to start over. It is a good-ass video game with a satisfying-ass ending. I guess that means I should probably open our fucking Game of the Year show doc and put it into some categories.
Yeah, that would make some fucking sense, because then I'm not the only one putting games in categories, you dumb shits. God.
Oh,
You know what, Tegan?
It's just Nintendo games right now. It's all Nintendo games. Fuck you. Nintendo wins our game of the year.
Guys, like...
There we go.
I'm keeping track of my list. I'm going to have my stuff in December when I finish playing through the last of my stuff.
I got to do it while I'm thinking about it, or I forget that I played a game.
Well, I mean, that's important. I understand your process. Totally makes sense to me. Mine's just
I have made that mistake 2 years where I've been like, wait, fuck, that was the game that came out.
But I just have a hard time looking at the Game of the Year list. And was a remake of Resident Evil 2 really one of the best games of this year?
Yes.
Compared to everything else that came out?
Yes.
I mean, quite possibly.
It generated a strong amount of meme content.
That also happened. Brian, it's one of the best games that came out this year. Like, I'm no cap. Not a joke. Like, it actually is.
Is the next iteration in the Smash Brothers series really one of the best games this year?
Remains to be seen, but it's definitely one of the most played.
But this category is not most played.
Sure. No, I mean, I understand that. Like, Ultimate probably shouldn't be here. Like, that's a fair point. Not arguing it.
Yeah. And so, like, there are categories I think are fine. You know, like, I think that, like, game direction is fine. I always, like, think it's interesting whenever, like, a game is either in Game of the Year or in Best Game Direction, but is not in both. Because it's like, oh, okay, so you're saying that this game has, like, you know, Best Direction, but isn't necessarily, it doesn't come together into the final product or vice versa. Because I feel like that usually exposes games which people who are on nominating committees feel less strongly about, or maybe necessarily, like, for the Game of the Year category, feel obligated to nominate. Like, Outer Wilds makes it into Best Game Direction, but for some reason doesn't get into Game of the Year because I think people feel obligated to, nominate those gold sticker games. For some of these other categories, like, I think a lot of this stuff makes sense. Like, Best Score or Music, as near as I can tell, and obviously I have not played Death Stranding yet, but looking at this fucking category, I would rename this category, so this is either going to be Cadence of Hyrule or Sayonara Wild Hearts, right? There seems to be a real ceiling on all of these other fucking games in here compared to those two.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of, like, nostalgia pull for Kingdom Hearts. Devil May Cry 5 actually made some pretty decent butt rock, but it's still butt rock. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Like, the Devil May Cry music fits Devil May Cry very well, but, you know, are you going to listen to it outside of Devil May Cry? Probably not so much.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair. Fair enough.
Right.
The Kingdom Hearts music is kind of the same way. Like, it fits really well in the Kingdom Hearts world, but, like, and some of it's really great, but, like, I don't know, it's not the same as, like, Cadence of Hyrule.
True.
I think I'm kind of soured on the idea of, like, the Games for Impact category.
You should be. Like, it's a joke.
Death Stranding is good, though. Sorry, Death Stranding soundtrack is really good. Sorry.
I fucks with it.
I downloaded it on my Spotify because I was like, I would need to listen to this, like, regularly. It's like the Nier Automata OST, except I didn't have to purchase it. I just got it. Huzzah!
Games for Impact, Brian?
IDK.
Yeah, fuck it.
But Life is Strange 2 is on here.
Who cares?
Aww. Mean.
Like,
Mean.
This is actually just a meme category. Like, that's the actual beef. That's my beef with it, personally. Like,
yeah, it's stupid. Like it there's no clear criteria. It just seems to be like, oh, and like in the past when like Keeley gets out on stage in his fucking Doritos Pope hat and is like explaining the criteria at the awards, it's like, these are games that promoted social change and why. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, say that these are games that are not about fucking robots, you coward. Like, you just you're a nerd and no one likes you. Just, these are games which are not about fucking robots. These are games where you don't have to pick up fucking health packs or ammo clips. These are like acoustic guitar games, you know, just like, whatever you want to call them. Like, like, fuck off, Keeley. This category is stupid. Whatever. Some guy gets something new to put a hat on in his office. Best ongoing game, I think, is conceptually a good idea. I think that the problem is that the way that they manage nominations for some of these other categories, there are games which should probably be excluded from nomination in other categories because they're not like releases in the last rolling 12 months that should probably be instead reviewed here, for the idea of like ongoing support of a game. Also, I think that there's probably it's probably pretty easy to conflate best ongoing game with like best community support. Again, like, pretty surprised that we're not seeing Hitman 2 in either of these categories. Because really, like, the fact that game continues to like have a giant ass like consistent player base, which is getting fed new content all the time, seems like a miss. And I think that the reason that it's a miss is because it looks like the way these categories get assessed is that like people who are thinking about nominations are only really looking at games which are traditional multiplayer experiences. And so like that Hitman is a community driven game with like heavy community engagement where people are all like talking to each other and chasing each other like on leaderboards and like building contracts for each other to play is the deal. Making contracts and chasing leaderboards like is all stuff that like promotes community engagement with one another. But because you're not like directly like say sitting in a match or playing co-op, like people don't think of it in that respect. So that feels like a miss. I'm also going to go ahead and say that like best mobile game might be a bad category too.
Okay. What's your beef?
We're not really separating out platforms for the most part elsewhere. Like, I don't like platform exclusive categories unless you are creating platform exclusive categories for like every major platform of distribution. Create your best mobile game category, but also let me see best like Switch game. Let me see best Xbox game, PS4 game, PC game. That when you're siloing like that, you're putting a limit on the way some of these games get treated by people. And I look at some of the games in this category, and there are some like really good fucking games in here. Like, I still have not fucked with Sky Children of Light. I still need to, because it's that game company. But I have now played 3 games in this category and absolutely like love all of them. Like, Grindstone is amazing. Sayonara Wild Hearts is so fucking good. What the Golf is terrific. All of these are like really good games, which are like fully developed experiences. And I think that the way people traditionally think about mobile game, if you were calling out mobile game but not calling out other platforms, people are putting a limit on what they think are the upward limits of how good that game is. Like, okay, well, it's the best mobile game,
I would have said that 5 years ago. I wouldn't say that now. I think mobile development comes with different design considerations that is like unique to this platform that don't exist on others. Also, the quality that has come out of mobile games has increased astronomically. In addition to the fact that mobile as a quote platform is bigger than any of the console holders, actually all the console holders combined, and close to, and it rivals that of PC in general.
But the weird thing about mobile, and you're absolutely right about when you're talking about the size of install base, is the difference is the level of engagement with potential users. Imagine if most people who bought Xboxes never bought a single game for their Xbox. And that's where it's worth talking about, like, size of install base versus engagement level of consumer.
No, but I'm talking about engagement level. Like, 23% of all the people that play video games on this planet play on mobile. And, like, that's bigger than, like, any of the console holders, and it's bigger than the 3 of them combined. Like, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about, like, the 4 billion people on the planet that have phones. I'm talking about like the 1.3 billion that play video games on their phones. And especially with things like Fortnite and Call of Duty Mobile is actually a really great iteration of like a phone shooter with a touch screen interface. Sayonara Wild Hearts made a very simplified game, but created a really good experience out of it. The games are better, and the people that play games on mobile don't interact with games the same way that like console people do, but their level of engagement is comparable. It's just different. I don't think this is siloing the same way that it would have been in the past. I think this is legitimately a real category, and I don't think it has like a ceiling like the same way that like it would have been like say even 3 years ago.
Okay, all right. I can only say that like a well curated game store, which is targeting the mobile space, has got me putting aside time to play games right now in a way that like I don't traditionally associate with mobile. Mm-hmm. Like when I sit down and I put in some time with stuff that I've gotten on Apple Arcade, I'm putting in hours at a time, which is not what I generally associate with like the way people talk about
mobile games.
Mobile games. Like the idea that like mobile games are generally supposed to be stuff that is best played in like short bursts and, like play this game for 5-10 minutes and then back away from it. I see that there are games that you can certainly do that with. Like it's easy to like say, do that with like Grindstone or like Tint. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of these games which are designed to be like sit down and like play them for a while. Sneaky Sasquatch is a full-on stealth game, which requires a lot of time to be devoted to it. Like Ash Vollmer, the guy who designed Threes, just put out like an adventure RPG for Apple Arcade.
That's cool. Fuck.
Yeah. When I think about stuff that you play, like for short 10-minute bursts, adventure RPGs really don't come to mind. Like, those are things that I want to get lost in for, like, hours. And so, like, when I heard, like, oh, okay, a new game dropped for Apple Arcade, it's called Guildlings, and it's from Ash Vollmer. And I started to, like, look at this Guildlings game. I was like, oh, this looks fucking great. And so, like, whenever we're done recording today, like, I'm going to go fall into, like, Guildlings for, like, a couple hours because it looks fantastic. It has that, like, same distinct visual look that, like, all of his previous work has had. But now it's a full-on ass, like, giant, action RPG. And, like, Square dropped, like, a big RPG on it from, like, one of their RPG studios. And, like, none of those, like, feel like they're designed in the way that, like, people think about, like, the length of sessions for mobile games. Like, and I definitely agree that there's a lot of, like, historically negative connotation for, like, the way people think about, like, mobile development. Like, okay, like, is the game designed to, monetize through, like, routinely bugging you for something like, do you want to buy more diamonds? Do you want to buy more diamonds? Rocky, do you want to buy more diamonds?
No, never. What?
Okay. Hey, Rocky.
Yeah?
Do you want to buy more diamonds?
Dude, stop. Jesus.
Okay. And that's only one consideration that, like, mobile games have historically had with like their bad rep, but like there's also things which have been like good. There is this idea that like, oh well, a mobile game is a good mobile game if it is designed exclusively to like use a touch interface. Like it's a game which is designed to be used with touching the screen. That's like, well, now that there's reliable Bluetooth tethering, there's nothing wrong with a developer say requiring a game to use a controller. Like, we're just, like, flat out requiring it on mobile. Be like, yep, this is a game that requires a fucking controller. Do not download this game unless you have access to a Bluetooth controller. Because that input is more easily accessible, and because more platform holders are making it easy to, like, pair just whatever Bluetooth controller you want to a mobile device. Like, I don't necessarily think of, like, good touch interface is a mandatory requirement for mobile design. But I probably would have, like, even, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of, like, thinking about, like the length of playtime would also have been, like, a checkbox I would have had a few years ago, too. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And I think the mobile gaming space is being reclaimed. That for years it was full of like predatory developers and predatory practices, but as stuff like the PS Vita dies and some generations of like, say, Nintendo handheld holders age into primarily using their Switch under their television as a home console, more people are treating their phones as their primary mobile gaming device, which means the rules for what people expect from mobile gaming change. And I guess that's where my curiosity around this category, whatever voting may exist for this category, happens, is like, under what terms will people voting in this category think about this game? Are they going to apply the rules of old? Like, how do people think about the best mobile game in terms of a voting body?
Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about how Game Awards actually works.
Right.
I'm just looking at this list.
Well, I am going to stop delivering input on this list because, holy Christ, we've got things to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Teeks, how's Fallen Order?
Would you good people like to talk about the news?
Sure, man.
Well, guys, if you also enjoyed listening to Brian have opinions this episode and want to continue to support him having opinions, might I recommend subscribing to our Impossible Coin Patreon? That was a segue, and I did a great job. You're welcome. If you support us for $5 a month, you earn yourself the orange food tier, which allows me to continue buying and trying foods that are the color orange. You also get a shout out during the end credits of the show. Is it every show or is it once a month?
Brian?
Every episode.
Every episode. You get a shout out at the end of every episode.
And access to the artisanal show notes.
Yeah, the artisanal show notes, where you too can see the weird photos that we copy-paste into here, along with maybe the weird photos that we copy-paste into the Skype chat. I think we're starting to do that more too, so you get to see all the bullshit we're looking at. And if you subscribe at $10 a month, you get to help us offset the cost of keeping all this afloat, which also allows us to, get more upload space on our Libsyn thing and stuff, so that we can post more shows for you guys. You'll also get all the stuff from the $5 tier, and once we reach our $55 a month goal, you will get access to our Patreon-only additional content for anime reviews and wrestling stuff and watch-alongs. And it'll be great, good fun. And if you decide to join our Bonjour tier at $55 a month, you are single-handedly making sure that we meet our first fundraising goal. So we will shamelessly sell something for you, whether that's plugging your own content or saying like a hey, hi, hello to some of your friends or whatever the heck you want. As long as it's, not like soliciting someone for sex, it's all good. I'm not going to solicit anyone for sex for you. That's your own job. So yeah, consider giving at our Patreon for the Impossible Coin podcast at patreon.com. Now we can do the news. Brian, I think you got first story.
I do.
Haha!
And that story is Stadia is bad.
I thought we already talked about how Stadia is bad.
I have more information on how Stadia is bad.
There's more information on how Stadia is bad?
Yeah.
How bad is it, Brian?
Well, the good news is that Founders Edition access codes have been finally delivered to all of the Founders Edition's buyers. For those of you playing at home, what that means is there are people who got their stupid fucking Stadia controller in the mail and were unable to do anything with it because they still needed the Stadia Edition codes.
Wow!
The Founders Edition codes.
That's stupid.
Yes, it is.
I shipped you a Stadia controller with no code, so you got a controller and nothing to do with it.
Right. Now, It's made more dumb because the messaging around these codes is that they were going to be delivered up to months ahead of time. Like, people thought they were going to just get the controller and, like, start playing a video game immediately because they thought they were going to have, like, their user ID and their account set up for months ahead of time. Instead, Google ran out the clock and was delivering codes late. And now they're moving on to delivering the codes for Premier Edition buyers, which are the people who didn't get the Midnight Blue controller. But it's the same problem. People are buying the device, and an ability to set up the device does not come in the packaging. You are waiting for an email to not go to your spam folder. Is there any part of this they have not fucked up?
That is like 30 levels of bullshit. Like, that's really dumb. Even Nico disagreed. He's not a fan. Some level of bullshit. Wow! Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, we're delving into Fallout 76 levels of bullshit with Stadia. Wow!
It's definitely like a 7-layer dip of shenanigans.
It is!
Fucking Stadia. Jesus Christ.
God.
Who's more of a friend, Tegan? Is it Bald Guy or is it Stadia?
Oh, Bald Guy's my friend compared to Stadia. Bald Guy at least, like, lies to my face. Stadia lies to my wallet. Bald Guy gives me shit for free.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is good and dumb. I'm about it.
Alrighty. So at least we know what else is going to be in Fallout 76's category of dumb as shit. Or Elon Musk dumb as shit. Or whatever the fuck.
I think it's
going into one of these two categories. Maybe both. It might go into both.
This definitely doesn't count as, like, evil. This is just dumb.
This is just really stupid. You didn't think about this at all. What the fuck?
Come on, Google.
Google regularly releases products. How do they not get it?
They do fuck up about, like, a solid third of them, though.
This is a really big one to fuck up.
Yes, it is. So big. Oh my god.
These fucking guys. What else is going on?
So, this is like video game adjacent news.
Okay.
But I feel like it's important. Because there are people, as you may or may not know, there are people who do things called Let's Plays. There are people who are Twitch streamers. And there are people who are, what's that other platform? What's that platform Ninja went to?
Mixer.
Yeah, there's people on Mixer who are going to be affected by this, to say it lightly. But today we're focusing on YouTube, which is also a product of Google, which is like, hey Google, cut your shit out. Anyway, here we go. I'm a storyteller. Let me weave you a tapestry of words. YouTube was sued by the FTC and the New York Attorney General for violating, supposedly, the U.S. Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. CAPA for short. As a result, YouTube has to pay $170 million because they were collecting data on kids under 13. Even though they weren't collecting data on kids under 13, because you have to be 13 to sign up for YouTube, in quotey quotes, and then bragging to, like, the media and advertisers that, like, YouTube is the top platform for children's content for kids 2 to 12.
Ah, shit.
You dumbasses. Don't post that shit in writing if you don't want it to come back and bite you in the ass, just like this. So now, starting this month, YouTube is requiring all of its creators, regardless of location and whether or not they produce content intended for children, to designate whether their videos are made for kids. And obviously YouTubers are worried that the rules are going to mess with their monetization because kids' content cannot be monetized. You can't have targeted advertisements on it because you can't gather advertising data for children. So that's gonna mess with people. And also, YouTube is not giving any advice to the creators on how to determine whether or not their content is suitable for children, which is to keep YouTube's nose out of it, because that way they can say, like, well, they marked their content as not safe for children, so it's not our fault if a child happens to be watching it and is therefore targeted by these ads. Because that leaves the creators as the ones who are subjected to the potential fines from COPPA, like individual fines, of up to $42,530 a violation. You make Minecraft build videos, and you're an adult, and you know adults watch these videos, so you mark your content as not for children. But kids start watching your videos because they want to know how to build cool shit in Minecraft. And then you're in trouble because there are kids watching your content. And for every fucking Minecraft video that they're finding kids watching your content on, that's $42,000 you owe the government. Yay! So, like, sweet, right? Although the FTC does say that they consider a number of factors in determining the appropriate amount, including a company's financial condition and the impact a penalty could have on the ability to stay in business. But, like, that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. So, basically, all these creators are scrambling to figure out what the heck they're supposed to do. Do they have to up the maturity level of their content? So, like, if anyone views it, they can go, no, it's definitely not meant for kids. They marked it appropriately. Or, like, how to meet the guidelines without completely changing your content and therefore alienating your entire audience. Yeah, and they got like a month to do it. It's bullshit.
This is one of the situations that, like, YouTube should honestly make a real decision and, like, decide, hey guys, this is how we're going to handle this. This is the process that we can use to identify videos and make sure that they're filtered appropriately, and they're just not going to fucking do it. And so, like, it falls to creators again. Like, I'm trying to find it, but there's a tweet that I saw that there's a man who, like, reviews sex toys on YouTube, and it's not explicit content or anything, but because he has toys in all of his titles, they're being, like, filtered towards, like, their kid-friendly, like, stuff, and he doesn't want that to happen, and he doesn't want to get fined, and he's, like, trying to reach out to YouTube on multiple platforms, including, like, through email and on his actual YouTube account, and YouTube's not responding to him. And, like, this is just, like, one of the weird, like, fringe cases that this shit's just gonna fuck up. And it's not the FTC's fault, and it's definitely not the creator's fault. It's YouTube not actually, like, providing for their platform.
Yeah, it's YouTube not managing their shit.
Yeah.
It's Google not managing their shit. It's YouTube and Google relying on an algorithm when, like, really a bunch of people would be able to help this job. Like, a bunch of people could fix this.
Yeah.
If there were enough people hired to actually review the content and be like, no, this is definitely meant for kids. No, this is definitely not meant for kids. Like, it's so dumb. And, like, people who do, like, content reviews, movie reviews, animation vlogs, like, all of this stuff, they're all gonna get screwed up because, like, cartoons are for kids. Except they're not.
Yeah.
Like, The Simpsons obviously isn't a kid show, but it's, like, regular TV. It's not gonna fall in the same thing because of the way that internet stuff is categorized, and it's frustrating. And so, like, I
hate it. Thanks.
Five Nights at Freddy's players, Five Nights at Freddy's Let's Players, kids love that shit because it's a bunch of grown-ass adults screaming like children, right? Yeah. Is that content appropriate for kids?
No.
No. Is Five Nights at Freddy's a kid's game? No. But they're all gonna get fucked because of this. Because the rules are too vague, and YouTube won't say, here are specific guidelines we can judge your content on. This is what we're looking for to categorize it as made for kids or not. And, like, the FTC won't specify either what made for kids is, because they say there's no one size fits all, but a general rule for kids under 13, which, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You can't do that. These are people's jobs. This is people's livelihoods. Like, y'all are fucking with it real badly, and you don't care, because it's not what you see as a traditional job. And it's frustrating, and I'm very passionate about it. And also, like, I was watching a Twitch streamer play a Minecraft thing, and they were like, okay, wait, stop. We have to talk about this. And it was, like, literally a 40-minute rant on, like, why this is important and how they don't know if they're going to be able to, like, their specific thing is, like, I play mod packs, and, like, I play different Minecraft mod packs, and I go through it with my audience, and, like, it's fun. And, like, everyone in the audience is 19 or older, because, like, we all, like, know each other. So, is that?
Sure.
You know, we all know each other from, like, a different group. So, like, we all know, and it's just, like, this person could lose all that stuff because it's not, like, they're not making it for kids. They're making it so they can hang out with their friends who are all over the globe, try and, like, do a thing together, and it's gonna get screwed up, and he can't afford a $42,000 fine.
I mean, who can,
like,
really?
Right, who can really? I mean, you know, I'm sure some YouTubers could, but also, like, those same YouTubers probably aren't really making content that's appropriate for kids anyway. Like even PewDiePie, who calls his like channel followers the 9-year-old army, like he's not kid friendly.
He's not kid friendly.
He's not kid friendly. Logan Paul's not kid friendly. I don't know how this is gonna shake out. It's frustrating. Game reviewers are gonna be screwed by this too, because Polygon posts video game reviews on YouTube, and that's a useful tool for parents, and they're obviously not necessarily posting those things for kids, but it's got video game in the title.
Oh, can I be mystified by Logan Paul for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, you can be mystified by Logan Paul. Logan
Paul and KSI had another boxing match.
Sure.
I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, what impact could this truly have on things? Logan Paul's watched by 9-year-olds who shouldn't be watching Logan Paul anyway.
Maybe, as a parent, you should maybe moderate what your child is watching and pay attention to your fucking kid instead of letting YouTube babysit. I'm sorry. I have opinions on parents' involvement in what sort of media their children consume, and, it makes me mad because, this is happening because parents don't watch what their kids watch. God, sorry. Angry.
And this fight was on DAZN.
DAZN?
Yeah.
What's DAZN?
DAZN is a web streaming service a la Netflix, but it's for live sports content. It's $10 a month. Logan Paul versus KSI 2 did 1.2 million new signups for DAZN. 1.2 fucking million.
If I'm doing my math right, that's $10,200,000, right?
Yes. And this is a recurring monthly subscription. So, obviously, not all of those people are going to keep DAZN. But some are. Oh, I'm sorry. DAZN is $19.99 a month.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
So it's $20 million?
Yes.
That's some payday. Fuck.
The buy rate on this, 1.2... I did not realize that, I thought that Logan Paul's primary demographic was, still having their parents pay for things for them. Apparently fucking not. 1.2 million. And if these are people who are not young enough and they're getting their parents to say Mom, you've got to get DAZN so I can watch Logan Paul in a gimmick boxing match. On one hand, I think that platform holders need to do a better job of ensuring that children are not being directly targeted and that data should not be gathered on kids that young. But holy shit, it is very obvious that a lot of the money which has been made on the internet in the last few years has been made from directly targeting children. In a very serious way.
Well, yeah. Oh man, I mean that's true of a lot of industries, really.
In summary, fuck them, feed them beans.
Yep. Pay attention to what your kids watch. You are the adults. You are responsible for your child.
Okay, so I have a bit lighter news, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Just want to talk a little bit about what's going on in fighting games. We got a lot of announcements out of Arc Revo, tournament run by Arxis. One is that Soul Calibur 6 Season 2 is coming out. They're adding 2 new characters, Hild and Shamsho Fighter Haomaru, which are 2 of the Season 2 characters. There's a bunch of new costumes. A lot of them are dumb. There's a fucking male and female Santa costume. And as you know, in Soul Calibur, your armor is totally breakable. So you can definitely have someone in the hat and mask or the big jacket and just shatter it and you end up with a shirtless Santa. That's just what you're fighting against now.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're adding a bunch of new stuff, new stages. They're adding new mechanics for every member of the cast. And everyone's getting new moves, which is cool. It's a really honest update from the fighting game community. And it's, it's just season pass, which is really cool. I'm really excited for the future of Soul Calibur. Has some good moments. Voldo's still Voldo, still does that weird, like, spider running thing. It is still terrifying. It's a lot of fun. Street Fighter V Champion Edition was announced as well. They're going to add Gil as a new character. You may remember Gil as, like, the inhumanly hard boss from Street Fighter 3. He's back. They are giving him both his pyrokinesis and cryokinesis abilities. But Champion Edition, if you buy it, say, like, when it comes out, will have all 40 characters in the game and over 200 costumes. There's some time-specific stuff that you're going to miss out on, but it's a good way to, like, get into the game if you were reluctant about Street Fighter V. It's $30. But, like, if you've been playing Street Fighter the whole time, it's $25 for you, which I'm not especially cool with. That doesn't feel like boys. But if you don't update, like, if you just keep your arcade edition, you're still going to get the balance changes and the additional modes. The only difference is that you won't get, like, the season pass characters, which you'd have to buy the season pass for. So it's basically like if you've been sitting around on vanilla, like, if you've just been a Ryu main this whole fucking time, you could, like, buy the DLC characters, like, all at once for $25, which sounds like a better idea. But the real thing, the real shit that I don't know if any of you guys have seen this shit. Did you click on this Pocky KO?
I did not. I will click on it right now.
Okay, so, Pocky, the chocolate cookie stick company.
Biscuit stick.
Is, doing a collaboration with Street Fighter called the Pocky KO Challenge, where they're having people try to get to what they call the Pocky ratio with your health, where, like, the little bit of, like, sliver of health that you have remaining is, like, the non-chocolate covered stick, and, like, the empty space is, like, the chocolate. And you try to get to that level of health and then take no more damage and then confirm the kill. And they're trying to get people to upload with, like, the hashtag Pocky KO. It is significantly ridiculous. But they're going to air videos at Capcom Cup. We'll see how that goes. Because Street Fighter's actually been building its own little esports thing. It's very much, like, small scale. It's nothing crazy. No stadiums or anything. But at Capcom Cup, they're going to have an exhibition tournament where they're playing a special version of Street Fighter where, like, there's going to have a Pocky KO challenge in, like, a tournament setting. And it looks ridiculous. Like, legit insane. But it's...
I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but also, like, great.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. Brian, how are you feeling about Pocky KO?
This is very silly.
Yes!
I am enjoying
the announcer, James Chen?
Drank 4 5-hour energies in a row quality to this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, everybody! Like, just... This is good.
Brian, I'm telling you, like, one of the best duos in, like, fighting game commentary is James Chen and Ultra David. Because, like, James Chen is, like, super high energy all the time. And, like, Ultra David is, like, really muted. But they're both very knowledgeable. You would fuck with them. If you guys have Pocky KO Challenge, like, videos, like, please at me on Twitter. I need to see them. It's super important. Or at the show Impossible Coin. And, like, maybe Pocky KO will have questions about that, but that's okay. Maybe we'll show up on the Capcom Cup. That would be cool. And it would be because of you. Also, Samurai Showdown has some news. There's a new character, Kazuka Kazuma. And he's in the game. He's also kind of pyrokinetic. He's kind of dope. The Switch port to Samurai Showdown has been delayed to Q1 2020. It was supposed to come out holiday. Nintendo put out a video on their YouTube channel announcing that it's coming out Q1 2020. And they also said those who pre-ordered will get Sam Show 2, not like a sequel to the current game, but the old Neo Geo game as a pre-order bonus. You could just play that immediately.
Huh.
Which is, kind of neat, but I don't know. Like, I don't feel great about this delay, but there are probably good reasons, and I'm going to let them rock. That's just how that's going to be. But Guilty Gear Strive, which is the next Guilty Gear game in the 3D universe or whatever, we've already seen the original trailer, but they teased Faust at the end of Arc Revo, and Faust looks legitimately creepy, kind of amazing. They told us that they're going to put out new trailers at Frosty Faustings, which is like the Midwestern Winter Tournament, and Evo Japan. So we'll see those in January. One of the things that I personally appreciated when I was watching the stream is that when they showed like the commercials for all the new stuff, they just finished Cross Tag, and they started showing the video for Guilty Gear Strive. The crowd went nuts. Like, apparently everyone in the crowd already knew the theme song, like word for word, and they were just singing it in the crowd, having a grand old time. They show the Guilty Gear, like, logo, and then they smash it with fucking Strive at the end of it. And that's just a Guilty Gear-ass name. Like, it's not super extra, like fucking, like, GG Xrd or whatever. But, like, it's up there. And it's sick. and I'm happy about it. I can't wait for late 2020 because I'm really gonna fuck with it. It's all of Guilty Gear, but it looks smooth, and like they took some notes from Tekken. With a little bit of stage transition and a little bit of like the kind of zoom in moments, like when you're landing like clutch hits and shit. And I think that's really fucking cool. Like, I'm so excited. Fighting games have a bright future coming. That's it.
I love the animation for Guilty Gear.
You should, Tegan, as you should.
I love it. I love
man.
it.
I'm so excited for the
God.
Man, Guilty Gear is just like, it's gonna be so good. Because like Faust, oh boy, he looks big scary. Like legit insane. The paper bag is always goofy as fuck, but he's always ripped, and then he has the paper bag over his head, and now he's just kind of like gangly. He reminds me of fucking Fiddlesticks from like League of Legends.
Yeah, he does. He's got big Fiddlestick vibes.
Oh man.
Frosty Faustings.
And like Frosty Faustings is always a good tournament. There's a lot of good Unis there. They also talked a little bit Guilty Gear's hype, Sam Show got delayed, Pocky KO Challenge, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, and Soul Calibur 6 Season 2. It's a fighting game corner.
This trailer music for Guilty Gear Strive makes me want to do one of two things. Mm-hmm. One, go listen to a bunch of like 30-year-old metal records.
Hell yeah.
Or possibly go watch a bunch of videos on Pornhub where guys in cowboy hats are dealing with twinks. Like, I can't tell which, but it's going to be one of those two.
Uh-huh. Cowboy hats and twinks.
Also, Faust has a large-scale energy.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Potemkin?
This all looks fun. But Rocky, I'm terrified of anime fighters.
No, I know. But, like, we're going to get you there, dude. You got a whole year. We're going to get you leveled up.
Like, of all the things that you covered here, the thing which is most likely for me to fuck with
is Sam Show?
Is Capcom saying, like, hey, you guy who felt abandoned by Street Fighter V and got steamrolled by Street Fighter V, would you like to buy the $25 Hey Baby Forgive Me package? Because I'm one of those guys who bought Street Fighter V.
I remember.
Bought a fight stick.
Uh-huh.
And then was like, oh, fuck this, fuck you, fuck me, fuck it all.
Honestly, I think you'd really like Zeku as a character. Or G? Brian, I know you've seen G. You've seen G, right? President of the World? We've talked about him on the show.
Fake Braham Lincoln?
Yes.
I'm all about fake Braham Lincoln.
Yeah.
That might be the way to go. I believe that there was also, like, a character who was running around with, like, a floating orb.
Minot.
Yes, and I remember people being like, Minot is weird.
She is. She's so weird, man.
And I like weird bullshit in video games. And so, like, I feel like floaty orb girl who doesn't control, like, anybody else. Also, they added a character who's just, like, so you kind of would like to play fighting games, but aren't very good. I think, what was his name? Like, Ed or something? Like, he had some, like, basic bitch name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, he's a boxer?
Right.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
Ed.
Yeah, it's Ed. Like, all of his, like, control inputs are, like, really dumb.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, really, really forgiving windows for, like, getting stuff strung together.
That's true. But, oh, man.
And so, like, they added a whole bunch of stuff in the DLC for Street Fighter V that's interesting to me. Like, Ed, just from, like, an accessibility standpoint, but not from, like, that just, like, that speaks to my jam. Fake Braham Lincoln is my aesthetic. You know, like, and so, like, where they're like, hey, how about everything? And all of the costumes except the costumes that were like themed collabs and the Capcom Cup costumes. So I'm like, that's a lot of costumes. That's a lot of stages. That's a lot of characters. I could get behind this.
For sure. Be careful with Minot, because she is like legit weird. Like just weird to play. Like she has some, her inputs are just fucking, oh my God. I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to get upset.
Rocky?
Yes?
Brian, can I tell you guys the name of the Guilty Gear theme song?
What's it called, Tegan?
Please?
It's called Smell of the Game.
Oh, yes, it is!
Yeah, and it was released on November 5th. So, like, the way Japan does stuff is they'll tell you, like, 2 months ahead of time, like, this is the title song, and then they'll release the OST song, and then you get to see it with the trailer. So, like, they knew the song because it's been out for, like, almost a month.
Okay, that's real. People have just been jamming to the shit.
It's still great, yeah, like, this song is dumb and it's fun.
Tinashe, where you at?
Where are you at?
Also, Daniel Hardcastle was the content creator that I was thinking about. I found his tweets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Also, he's trying to find out when he can upload his content to Pornhub, because that's his natural evolution. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean...
I just went and I performed research, which I will not put in the show doc.
Uh-huh.
Just in case you're curious, gentle listener, Pornhub is replete with videos of big, strong, hairy guys fucking twinks with, like, Motorhead playing. It is a genre.
It is definitely a genre. Yeah, man.
So...
man. Soul Calibur 6 is... It looks good. It looks good. Champion Edition feels weird. Like, I mean, it's cool that the whole cast is getting stuff. Like, the whole cast is getting a second V skill. So, like, everyone's gonna have 2 V skills, 2 V triggers, and 2 ultras. Which, like, allows for, like, you know, a bit more expression in game. Like, closer to something like Mortal Kombat system. Or, like, Chrono Phantasma. Yeah, Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma's, like, customization. And that's cool, because, I mean, you should be able to express yourself as a fighter. I think it's a meaningful thing for players to be able to do. But, jeez. I don't know, I don't want to deal with Gil again. Like, fuck Gil, man. It was bullshit. Brian had a super in Street Fighter 3 that just brought him back to life. He could throw meteors at you, and he had good normals. All sorts of other wacky bullshit.
I, too, hope to have good normals.
Can I just have normal goods?
I mean, I think those are both options that are available to you. Oh, man. And, like, Hild looks pretty cool because she fights with a halberd, and I like halberds. They're my jam, man. The Sam Show collab is alright, I suppose.
Would one of or more of you fine people like to shift gears just a little bit and talk about the 7 games that came out on Steam today?
Sure, man, let's do it.
Why did 7 games come out on Steam today?
Well, we've got Infinite Beat for $6.79. It is a VR-only early access rhythm game, so you know it'll work out.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opportunity to test your reflexes by smashing the neon beats with laser discs, which will magically return to your hand after firing. By using special abilities, the game gets more dynamic and you can earn more points.
Sure.
I mean, I guess. Thanks, VR rhythm game. Next up is Nyanko Dream.
Like cat?
Like Nyanko?
Yes.
Okay.
Nyan! I like it. I'm in.
Once upon a time, Nyanko dreamed she was a butterfly flitting about, happily enjoying herself. She did not know that she was Nyanko. Suddenly she awoke and was palpably Nyanko. What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
Was palpably Nyanko. She didn't know whether she were Nyanko who had dreamed of being a butterfly or a butterfly who dreamed of being Nyanko.
Sure.
Between Nyanko and the butterfly, should there be a difference? Question mark.
So what's the game about?
Is this a bullet hell shooter?
What? How? Why?
So this game appears to have, I guess, like 2 distinct modes. Like one appears to be like a RPG, which is very much like a RPG Maker-ass RPG. And then there appears to be a mode where you are doing bullet hell shooting and you're transitioning back and forth. So I'm going to assume one of those is dream mode and one of those is awake mode. That's how they justify this shit. This game is also 59 cents. So if you're curious about how this mess happens, you can find out, Rocky.
I don't wanna. Got enough on my plate.
Well, maybe you want to play Grudge TV.
What?
No, I definitely do not.
Why would anyone want to play that?
Wow, this has got an incredibly narrow appeal. This looks like a game which is derivative of the model of Smash TV. Like somebody's making a Smash TV ripoff with like modern assets. And all right, Smash TV was something of a cult hit when it came out on the NES, but how long ago did fucking Smash TV come out? It was an NES game.
29 years. Released April 1990.
Is there a giant market of people who are going to see something TV on Steam and go like, I wonder if that's a Smash TV ripoff?
Dude, I don't know, man.
Next up is Glaucoma, Chapter 1.
Glaucoma?
Glaucoma.
Not like glaucoma, but glaucoma.
Yeah, I wanted to say glaucoma at first too, but it is definitely glaucoma.
I go in a coma and I glow.
Yes.
I glow in my coma.
Yes. Glaucoma Chapter 1 is a science fiction first-person horror game. Its first chapter, the player has to fight bloodthirsty creatures which have a common conscience, and the only way to stop them is with heavy firearms and special weapons. In this tribulation, you will have to find the way to survive this dangerous world. While seeking means and ways to survive with each chapter, the player will discover piece by piece the game's story, develop skills and weapons and abilities to survive. But, I mean, too bad this is just Chapter 1. About this development, my name is Svetsamir Georgiev, and I work as a 3D designer for movies and games.
Mm-hmm.
Started looking into Unreal Engine 2.5 years ago in my spare time. Have been working on my first game, Glaucoma Chapter 1, since then. Thank you for your time and support. Hope you liked the game.
Cool, I guess.
The game has a mature content description,
Sure.
which reads exactly as follows. Shooting monsters, and they blow.
They blow! Not safe for work. Not safe for children. 18 years of age or older.
Next up is Legend of the Nine Swords side story.
All right.
A two-dimensional illustrated narrative role-playing game. It is hand-animated to give every hero and enemy their own style and feel. I can tell you right now that is all bullshit. Like this, they're very clearly some like pre-built assets. Their menu design is all like menus that are just RPG Maker, so awesome. Oh, and this listing is soliciting people to give money to a Kickstarter, so that's good. For the game, then we've got Blow Up Pieces Unleashed. Blow Up Pieces is a single-player and multiplayer game that you can play locally. Come on this adventure and help Mike save the world by destroying falling blocks. Yeah.
Okay.
This is like a breakout-style brick breaker game, and it looks bad. It is also more expensive than most of the games we look at on the show at $4.49.
I mean, all right.
And then we've got Pelmesh. Pelmesh is a fun physical arcade game about Pelmeshka, which is trying to get out of the cat. The cat ate the dumpling, but he did not suspect who he had contacted. The stubborn Pelmeshka decided to get out of the cat. Will she succeed? This is the question. All right. Good times. Good times, everybody. So that is everything that came out on Steam today. But from what I understand, we have some business for our cats.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of business. Once again, I had to apologize due to technical difficulties. We lost the audio for the cats last week, but we're going to do it again. We got it this time. I promise. Our first question comes in from Joe Lameboy Color Spiro at JojoFs on Twitter, who asks, Impossible Coin. Me and my friends were thinking of getting into Final Fantasy XIV. Got any beginner tips and guides? Tips for us staying in the level range? And tips to still play other games and not accidentally/subconsciously peer pressure each other into focusing on the one game? Also, should we get the starter or the $60 with the expansions when just starting out? There are two guides that I would point you toward, which is the Master's Beginner Guide on the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit, or Heather Alexandra's Introduction to Shadowbringers, because it actually is just a good intro to the game at large, even if it came out timed with the latest expansion. For tips for you staying within the level range, what I would suggest is honestly not worrying about it. Maybe sometimes you'll get ahead, but the system in Final Fantasy XIV has something called level sync. So even if someone ends up getting ahead, they can always like quote level down, and they still get experience and whatnot if they join you. And sometimes they'll get bonuses for like being in a party where like no one's cleared yet, or one person hasn't cleared yet. So it's usually not a hindrance to like actually playing the game. As for tips to still play games and not accidentally subconsciously peer pressure each other, what I would suggest if you're playing with a particular group is to try to pick a day, like an actual schedule, and then just stick to it. So like we play Final Fantasy on Thursdays, and that's it. And maybe some people will get ahead, but like if someone else is like, hey, I'm going to play extra, that's cool, but like I'll see you on Thursday, and just stick to it. Like it's a really simple but really effective tool to like stay together as a group. As for when you're just starting out, I would generally suggest just getting the starter, but either way, they both come with a month of playtime. And $60 at level 1, what it'll actually get you is access to some of the other races to like make your character, which are Aura, which is like a human dragon hybrid, Rothgar, which is the lion men, and Viera, which are bunny girls. And if you don't want to make one of those characters, I wouldn't advise it. There are other classes that are available with different expansions, but they're locked generally behind levels and content. Some of the cooler classes like Samurai, Machinist, Dark Knight, Astrologian, Dancer, and Gunbreaker are all after clearing the main Final Fantasy XIV story, which is A Realm Reborn, which is like 1 to 50. And there's no way to get those classes before then. There are a couple that you can, which is a Thief/Ninja, which has a level 1 starter, but you need to get at least one class to level 10 anyways before you can start on those. And it's locked behind Heaven's Ward. And there's Blue Mage, which is locked behind Stormblood, but like Blue Mage is a meme and you're not going to take it into any actual instances. It's basically some other thing to like flit away your time because of the way that like Blue Mage gathers abilities. And none of the content is balanced to have like Blue Mage be in a normal instance. So you can't queue with it. There are ways to get around it, but like generally it's not designed to be played like normally. That's what I would suggest, at least getting into it. There are a couple of things you want to pay attention to. One, no matter what, even if you start with like a group of friends, you're really not going to be able to play together until you all hit level 15. And the reason for that is that whenever you start a class, you have like a starting city that you pop into. And in that starting city, like you can't get access to like most of the worlds until you're at level 15. And then you can bounce between like the major cities and you'll have access to like party specific content like dungeons and whatnot. So you're just going to be playing on your own for the beginning. And it's just like main story quest exposition nonsense. That's also getting streamlined in 5.3, which is coming out in a couple months. Like they're just going to condense the first 50 levels like all over again. So it's a much smoother experience because it does kind of drag. Also at level 15, you get access to a specific thing in each of the beginning cities called Hall of the Novice, which will teach you the basics of party-based combat. Because for the most part, when you're beginning, like it's very much like any big intro to MMO, which is just like you walk in, you hit some monsters, you get some experience, you go do fetch quests or whatever. And once you hit level 15, you're actually going into dungeons with what they call a light party, which is like a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS. And DPS have things to focus on like positionals. Healers have specific abilities and tools that they'll use to facilitate the survival of the party. And tanks have a mechanic which is to hold aggro, to maintain threat, and also like tools that they'll use to like mitigate damage that you need to start becoming aware of. But until then, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Just stick around, I guess. So like the quote, real game starts at level 15. I would actually say that none of the classes feel complete until you get to level 50, which is, you know, kind of a drag. But the story is especially strong. And so, like, definitely sit around and watch your cutscenes because it's actually a really good story with memorable characters. And, like, the combat is, like, simple enough and there's stuff for you to do. But, like, once you hit level 50, like, you're going to get a couple of abilities that, like, put the whole, like, kit into context and it makes a lot more sense. That's what I would say for, like, intro to Final Fantasy XIV. If you are playing with a group and you're not super worried about the cost, if you did want to jump right into Shadowbringers, you can. but you'd have to buy level skips in addition to like the $60 expansion. But if you're just like going through the experience, starting with the starter kit isn't a bad move. I wouldn't be mad at it, especially after 5.3 comes out, which will streamline like a lot of the slog that A Realm Reborn is currently.
I feel like both my cats give this a sitting directly underneath the bed in dead center, so they cannot even be reached unless I go get something long like a broom. Like the cats are like that.
And Tegan, the Orange Boys?
Roman gives this hiding in the closet, sleeping, so that I look all over the house twice before I finally freaking find him, while Nico follows me from room to room screaming because he can't find Roman, despite knowing where he is. He knows. I know he knows.
Cats are such dumbasses. I love them.
Our cats are such dumbasses. I love them.
Okay, the next question, which is also from Jojo F's Joe Lameboy Color Spiro, is at Impossible Coin, what inscrutable 8 to 32-bit game that literally required a guide would be most improved by a remake with Dark Souls-style hints, summon, and invasion soapstones? I think these would instantly make Castlevania 2 and Zelda 2 10,000% more playable. Also, Vaxanadu and Zelda 1, the spiritual predecessor of Dark Souls. Also consider focusing on just the messages part if the multiplayer stuff would be a conversation distraction. I think Final Fantasy Mystic Quest would be a good choice here to include messages and or like summon invasion soapstones. I don't know about invasion specifically, but summons would probably be helpful there. Same with like Final Fantasy 3 and maybe Star Fox Adventures. You two?
I think I said Maniac Mansion in the Lost Audio.
I do remember that.
And I think I stand by that. I think that there's a real temptation to go with stuff like action RPGs or things where what's really obtuse and what's really obscure is like mechanical stuff. Because there's so much bullshit that you need to do in Castlevania 2 or Zelda 2 where like the game doesn't bother to explain it at all. But I think I like the idea of like a complicated like combine this and that and, you know, do this and that, like adventure game, because a lot of times in adventure games, exactly what you need to do is perfectly clear. And the fun part is figuring out how to do it. And like, that seems like a kind of thing which is already kind of like turning into a multiplayer experience virtually in living rooms now. Like, I know a lot of times whenever I'm playing like an adventure game, Beth will watch and she'll like weigh in with like what she thinks I should do or what she thinks the solution to the situation is. With Thimbleweed Park, you know, where you are controlling like 5 different characters and switching back and forth between them, a lot of times the solutions to puzzles would require more than one character to be in different places at the same time. And that was also true of Maniac Mansion. And I think it's a lot easier to, like, say, recreate the experience of, like, multiple characters needing to be at different places at the same time than switching back and forth between characters to just having different people playing different characters. And the debate over how we solve this puzzle is already, like, core to, like, the social experience of that genre. Hopefully my explanation was even cleaner this time.
I'm sure it actually was.
It actually was, actually. Actually twice.
Actually. And I know I said in the last audio that, like, Zelda 2 would benefit greatly from, like, a save system. And, like...
Yes.
That'd be the easiest way to fix that game is, like, I can save my game and come back to the save point when I die and not go back to the beginning of the fucking game.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know.
Oh, actually, I have a different one. The Sega Genesis, Hercules, and Aladdin games would have been a lot easier with a hit and summon system. I don't know what Invasions would be like, but those games were, like, unnecessarily difficult, arguably somewhat to, like, bad design, but they would have been a lot easier to play if I could get hints, or if I could have someone else just show up and, like, do the jumps or whatever. I don't know.
Rocky, have you ever fucked with The Lion King?
I don't want to talk about The Lion King.
Fair.
The Lion King would benefit from being able to skip the wildebeest stampede part. If that part could just be a cutscene, that'd be great.
The Lion King would benefit from someone digging a very deep pit somewhere in New Mexico
Yeah, you know what? I fucking agree. Actually, let's be more environmentally friendly and just recycle them.
Yeah. Just wipe all the
tear
cards.
them apart all for parts. Yeah.
Gogo and Toshiro give this letter a fuck the Lion King.
Roman gives this a long live the king as he shoves Nico out of some perched location so that he may perch there instead.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so good. Okay, and our final question for this week is from Oscar Garcia from Facebook, who asks us, "Good morning. Before the next recording, I wanted to ask the team, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Have any family rituals in your different states?" Who wants to go first?
I think Brian does.
I do Thanksgiving with my in-laws. We go over to Beth's family's house, and generally the way that plays out is Beth's mom kind of needles Beth on some stuff because she likes to push her buttons, and Beth's dad is watching football because that's a thing. And we sit down to eat, like, at a time which I think is inordinately early. Like, I've never understood the idea of, like, holiday meals being served, like, really super early.
Is it at, like, noon?
We're, like, sitting down to eat, like, something like fucking, like, 2 or 3.
Oh, that's not so bad. Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, then after that, there's a bunch of sitting around. Sometimes, like, pots of coffee where people are then supposed to talk. And then sometime after there has been several pots of coffee and people sit around and talked a lot, if people still have it in them, someone will be like, who wants dessert? At which point, like, some kind of, like, pie thing will be attacked. But yeah, like, there's not much in the way of, like, I don't really have any kind of, like, held on to, like, family rituals from, like, childhood because, like, I haven't celebrated a holiday with anybody but my in-laws since 2005. That is that.
Tegan, you want next, or should I go?
I'll go.
Okay.
Thanksgiving's kind of different every year, generally, just because we haven't particularly been tied down to significant others before. But basically what happens is my mom, dad, and grandma have a sit-down meal at about noon. And it is like a formal dining situation where, like, you show up at noon, you eat all the food, there's dessert served immediately after, you talk for maybe an hour, and then we do what is known as the Midwestern goodbye. Where you start saying, well, I really should be going. And then you stand up, and then you walk into the kitchen to start saying goodbye to everybody. And then you're held up for another hour, just chit-chatting with people. And then you say, okay, well, it's really time to get going. And so then you get your coat, and then you walk towards the foyer to put your shoes on, or whatever, wherever your shoes are, the mudroom or whatever. And then everybody comes over to say goodbye, and then you talk for another 20 minutes minimum before you finally go, okay, it's really time to go. And then you gather up your leftovers and maybe spend another 15 minutes talking in the foyer, depending on whether or not someone else has arrived in the meantime, and then you leave. That's like what my parents do. And then Alex's parents are divorced. So we either go to Alex's grandparents and then my parents and then Alex's grandparents and then Alex's mom, like in that order. And there's Alex's one parent. Both of Alex's grandparents do like buffet style Thanksgivings. And then my parents have the sit down dinner. And then Alex's mom mostly does like desserts and chit chat, and like maybe we watch a Christmas movie, but like maybe not because it depends on how late it is, and then we're home at like 11 o'clock or midnight or whatever. And like it's a lot of food. I don't eat that many calories normally, so I have to like space out. I'm gonna eat like turkey at this one, and I'm gonna eat dessert at this one, and I'm gonna eat like, I have to be very careful because I don't want to offend anybody, so like I eat a very specific amount of food at every single one. I eat so many foods. And then I come home, and previously I've taken a nap maybe and then gone into work. But this year I just have to go into work at my normal time on Friday. So I get to just chill, which is nice. And then Black Friday, we decorate for Christmas. So like right now we have all the Christmas decorations down and out of the attic and like that sort of thing, but they will not be put up until Black Friday. And that's what we do instead of shopping, because screw that.
So I spend my Thanksgivings with my mother, Her Majesty, and my parents are separated. They still live next door, which is still weird to me, but whatever. So what I end up doing is I tend to go visit with Her Majesty, and sometimes she does a dinner at home, but sometimes we just go visit a family friend, and there's a few of those. So like usually bounces in between a couple of places. There's always the game on, so we'll watch the game. We get to rag on the Cowboys fans. Whether they win or lose, doesn't really matter. We just get to rag on them. After the dinner, there's usually like either a comedy playing or some sort of like group-oriented game. Phase 10 is a huge favorite at a lot of these things. If we visit family friends, there's also a bit more intense activities like water balloon fights. If not, then we're just at home. We play video games or something. We'll play Smash, like catch up and whatnot. After that, I go visit with my dad for a while. We do our, like, I don't know, quarterly check-in, talk about what's going on in our lives, occasionally talk about the game that's on. And then I go out, because I always go out on Thanksgiving. El Paso is a drinking town, and I go kick it with the people that I know that tend to go out on bars. And, you know, Thanksgiving's a pretty busy bar night. So I get to chat with a lot of people that normally don't come out, whether they're just like dropping into the city or if this is just the night that they go out because they don't want to hang out with their family, which is totally cool. I totally get it. Probably what I'm going to do this year. That's my plan. Her Majesty, I think, is actually doing a dinner. I get to bring the turkey because I got a turkey from work, which is a thing I thought totally just happened in the movies, but I guess it happens in real life. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make the turkey. I'm going to do a cast iron peach cobbler, which I'm very excited about.
That's going to be good.
And, yeah, those are my plans. That's what we're doing.
I do corn pudding, pumpkin pie, and sometimes a cheesecake, but the cheesecake is typically like the Christmas thing.
True. I respect it.
But pumpkin pie is like necessity. So
we do sweet potato out here. But I think that's just us. I don't know.
That's also delicious, though. We have, like, sweet potatoes as, like, a side dish. So that's why we don't do the sweet potato pie.
True. Yeah.
With cinnamon and butter and sometimes blackberry sauce. Yum.
I fuck with candied yams.
But do candied yams fuck with you?
I like Thanksgiving because it's good food.
Oh, I don't know.
Only if you have, like, a bad reaction to them, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Is next week our holiday gifting guide? Are we doing that this year?
We should.
Oh, fuck off. No.
Brian says no holiday gifting guide this year.
Well,
maybe next
the
year.
Podfather says goes. Well, everyone, this is our show. It's called Impossible Coin. We do it every week. You might know that. We are available wherever podcasts are found. Particularly, we are targeting iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. And we'd appreciate if you left us a review. If you liked what you heard, or even if you didn't, we're always trying to grow. We appreciate the feedback. There's music at the beginning and end of this podcast. It's produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/BigSachNJ. And you could also follow him on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. Our t-shirt and logo were designed by Lauren Moran. You can follow her on Twitter at Lauren Moran and consider donating to her Patreon as well, because she is really about the business. We are also on social media. Brian's usually on Facebook and Patreon. I'm on Twitter and Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. No weird spaces or anything like that. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to have a conversation, we're open to that.
I'd like to say at this point that, does anybody still listen to this show on Google Play? I mean, seriously. It appears to me that all the people who used to listen to the show on
Google Play migrated to Spotify.
They've moved over to like a variety of different platforms. It looks like chief amongst them is Spotify. So like it looks like really like our two main avenues for getting the show now are through iTunes and Spotify. And then we have like a whole bunch of like things like picking up around the edges. Like somebody gets this show through a thing called Castbox. I have no idea what the fuck Castbox is. Guy who gets this show through Castbox, I salute you. Person who downloads this show through an app called Stage Fright, I salute you too.
Oh, wow, neat. That sounds like a cool one.
Yeah. So, but like the Google Play downloads have fallen off a cliff. People have all found new ways to get the show instead. No one cares.
I'm actually making a Twitter poll right now to gauge that. I was just say, do you listen to our show via Google Play?
I mean, it'll continue to be available there because whatever, it takes literally no effort to continue to be available there. But like, our customers appear to have moved on to different channels.
True. We'll find out together. Any other parting words?
Be thankful, love those around you, do good work, and let the boys breathe now and again.
Tegan?
Take some time to chill during the upcoming holiday nightmare. And be nice to retail workers.
And let the boys breathe.
I think that's just your thing.
That's just your thing. I don't have any boys to let breathe. That's not a problem I suffer from.
Okay. You gonna suffocate Nico and Roman now?
No, they are
Let the
true
boys
independent.
breathe.
I don't know.
No,
Oh my God.
I snuggle them closely and they love me.
All right,
Let
so
the boys
guys,
breathe.
you guys know what you're about. And honestly, this year has been challenging for most of us. You know what? I believe in you, and I always have. I know you're going to do good things. So, keep at it. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.